Please join your hands as we welcome the achievers. Please join your hands as we welcome the achievers from Karnataka, Ms. Chinmay P, Mr. Sandeep Badad, Mr. Sagar, Mr. Manoj, Mr. Kiran Kamate, and our own Srinivas sir. June 5th is a very important day in the calendar, not only for India, for the world. We celebrate this day as World Environment Day. The importance of environment, the importance of ecology and ecosystem to the world is nothing more than debated, but as it is. Today we gather here for the launch and orientation of a very unique initiative called DRONA. DRONA stands as an initiative which will be very unique, and probably in the history of UPSC circles, this will be one very notable initiative, because more than an institution running an initiative, this is an initiative where all the achievers have come together, joined their hands voluntarily to make this happen. The single most motto and the mission behind this initiative is to ensure that all aspiring young adults of UPSC get to see their success. The do's and don'ts will be understood very fast, and to ensure all your dreams come true at the earliest. So we'll start with a very big round of applause for this initiative that all the young achievers have taken together. It speaks volumes of their idea, of their intent behind this, because once you achieve, yes, you get a celebrity status. There is a lot of media, there's a lot of glitter around, but to come back to our classroom, to spend time and to say, I will not only do an orientation, but I want to do something more, where I want to reach out those students who have been serious about this process, putting all their effort into this process, but probably for many reasons, known, unknown, which you may get to know very soon, you will be facing hurdles, difficulties as such. So in this background, DRONA is an initiative where we say you rise with the rankers. India4IAS is very proud to host all the achievers today. We have amongst us all these young achievers. 3 more will join, and it is a very humble and proud moment. Srinivas sir has been instrumental in bringing all of them together, and we once again extend a very heartful thanks from the institution to all of you for making time, for taking a lot of time and effort around this to make this possible. So to each one of you, I'll take name once again to make this at the cost of repetition: Ms. Chinmay, Mr. Sandeep, Mr. Sagar, Mr. Manoj, and Mr. Kiran Kamate. This is going to speak for a long time to come. Thank you so much once again for making this possible. So what exactly is DRONA? What is the idea behind DRONA? After every result, there's a lot of celebration. There will be felicitation. You get to listen to a lot of topper talks. You get to listen to a lot of achiever talks. You get to listen to their journey. You get to listen to their story. But what after that? We've all been aspirants of UPSC. We have gone through the grind. Some of us will very soon go through the grind. Year after year, there is a prelims, there is a mains, and there are interviews. Every year, there is some or the other twist and turn in the paper, be it prelims or mains. Those who have all written prelims this time will very surely know that the twist and turn can be much more than the only word of twist. But do we sit back and say UPSC did not stick to its syllabus? Do we only sit back and say, what more can I do? I have done everything. So in this line, all of us got together, and it was specifically all these achievers who put their hand together and say, given we have some more time before we join the training for the services, we want to do something by which everybody understands. Experience is a collection of lot of mistakes, and each of this mistake has a lot of learning. In this line, each and everybody have put their effort in their own direction. Each and everyone has a story to tell. We combine these stories not only so that you go back listening to them, but hands-on make real use of them. In this backdrop arises the idea of DRONA. We all know the history behind the idea of DRONA, but this is so that you rise with each one of them. Each one of them have achieved their dream. Many of them are much more pushing themselves to a higher dream. How can you reach your dream? That's the objective behind the perspective or the thought of DRONA. So DRONA, Rise with Rankers, starts today. And each and every one of you, again, as serious aspirants of civil services exam, this is going to be a stepping stone. 80 days ahead before this prelim, this means ahead in 2026. Many of you might be writing, many of you don't know your results. Some of you are definitely sure and are targeting 2027. This is not a program only for those who are targeting 26. This is also a program for 27. This is a program for all of you who are dreaming about success in civil services exam. That's where all the achievers have come together. So this is a small brief of the idea of DRONA. Many initiatives are planned over the next 80 days. And this is not a program where they will be only shown as face and rest programs will be run. This is a program where they will take effort to handhold. Each one of them will be present at different occasions, taking specific time out. So over the course of this program today in the orientation, I will let you know what all programs are coming ahead. Immediately block your calendars for Monday and Tuesday, because Monday and Tuesday are going to be a 2-day conclave session specifically targeting mains oriented idea. Who is handling these sessions? Each and every one of them sitting here on the will be handling along with 3 other achievers. So have you heard of sessions where 2 achievers come on stage, discuss GS paper 1, what is the previous year theme, how does questions come, what it works? That is going to happen in the same classroom on Monday and Tuesday, each and every one of them. That is why I've been repeating that it takes volumes of effort for those who feel, now I have achieved, it's my time to enjoy, it's my time to enjoy the glory as such, but they go back to their books, analyze their questions, analyze what is the theme, what can be done. That speaks a lot of initiative that they've taken. So once again, thanking all of you for all that idea and that support that you have shown to the young generation who has been dreaming about UPSC. I now request Srinivas sir to address you, the thought and the idea behind the ideator who has been instrumental to bring all of them together. Thank you so much, sir. This is your stage for a few words.
ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಡೇ ಶುಭಾಶಯಗಳು. ನಿಮಗೆ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್, ಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ನೀವು ಯಾವ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತಿದ್ದೀರಿ, ಫಸ್ಟು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ನೆಲದಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ ರೈಲುಗಳಿಗೆ ಈ ಹಾಲ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಡೆಲ್ಲಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ, ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಡೆಲ್ಲಿಲಿ ಇತ್ಕೊಂಡು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯ ದಿನಗಳನ್ನು ನಾನು ಸಾಧು ಏನೆಲ್ಲದ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಏನು ಒಂದು ರಿಚ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಒಂದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಾಧಕರು DFRI ನಿಮಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗೆ ಇನಿಷಿಯೇಟಿವ್ ಇರಲಿ, ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅನುಕೂಲ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಮುಂದೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥ ಉದ್ದೇಶವನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮುಂದಿನ ಏನು ಕೂಡ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಲಿಬೇಕು, ಲೇಔಟಲ್ಲೇ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಸಿಗಬೇಕು, ನಮ್ಮ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ನಗರಗಳಿಗೆ ಹೋಗೋದು ಬೇಡ ಅನ್ನೋ ಉದ್ದೇಶವನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು DFRIS ಕಲೀರಿ. ಇನ್ನೂ ನಿಮಗೆ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಬ್ರೈನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಸಿವಿಲ್ DFRIS ಪ್ರಯತ್ನಗಳನ್ನು ದಿನದಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಸ್ನಾಗಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ನೀವು ಎಫೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತೀರಿ ಅನ್ನೋ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು. ಏಕೆಂದರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಿವಿಲ್ ಅನ್ನು ದಿನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಥರದ ಅವಕಾಶಗಳಿಲ್ಲ. ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲೊಬ್ಬರು IAS ಆಗಿದೆ ಹುಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವರ ವಾಸನದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಥರ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಿಮಗೆ ಒಂದೇ ಕಡೆ ಇದೆ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು people are very Karnataka.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಸರ್, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸೋ ಮಚ್. The idea of coming together of all toppers and how will we lead the orientation was something that was discussed in detail. You have heard multiple topper talks, you have attended multiple orientations where each one of them have shared their journey. We wanted this to be a little different so that all of you feel the difference and all of you actually take back what exactly it is. So how will today's program go about? We'll first have a keynote address which one of the achiever will give. After that, we'll have 2 panel discussions. In both these panel discussions, there is a specific theme on which we are working the panel discussions, where 3 of the achievers, along with one of our own faculty, who is also a very well-known mentor, will be joining us, so that there will be a discussion on specific questions that we have received from students, and also something that we have gone through in terms how students have picked up. We will also allow 1 or 2 audience questions at the end of each panel discussion. So it will be a very productive session in the next probably 90 minutes or little more than that. Okay. And we also at the end, we will talk about very small initiatives that each one of them have started upon and will very soon start in terms of, they will talk about the initiative, what is the objective behind that initiative, and how will this pan about. This is the larger frame of the session so that all of you are aware of, and this will be very interactive so that you can ask, you can listen, don't hesitate asking at any point of time. Meanwhile, repeating, 8th of June, that is Monday, you will have a 2-session program that is happening. Timings, specifics will all be let known. GS paper 1 in detail, thorough idea with previous questions analysis and Q&A. GS paper 2 in the second half, thorough analysis, understanding in terms of, this is targeting mains 2026, 2027, and for all of you who are looking at UPSC very seriously. June 9th is going to be a much bigger, better day where we talk of GS paper 3, GS paper 4, and also essay. So these 2 days are exclusively dedicated where each of these achievers, along with 3 more, Ms. Nivedita Bamimani had to join us today, Mr. Baswaraj M. Patil, who has a professional commitment, and also Mr. Baswaraj Javdi. So all of them will be joining us, and they have divided topics among them. So this is an orientation which will exclusively be led by them here. All of you get to listen, understand, get the perspectives, because they have also gone through the journey that all of you have gone through, are going through, and they have achieved. They have seen the failures which many of you are going through, and they have achieved. So from that idea of an aspirant to an achiever, that journey and the ups and downs, and finally to achieve, now to see it from the different side. So from that side of the stage to this side of the stage, what has been the transition? That is something you're going to see, but not only a talk, also through the subject. That is happening on 8th and 9th. Block your dates for that. Tell all your friends this is open to all. This is completely open to all. This will happen offline and online, but preferably all of you please join us here so that you get to listen to them forefront. For now, we now take pride in inviting our keynote speaker to start the session, Ms. Chinmay P., a lawyer by profession, somebody who pursued law as an optional, something not very usual in sense of Karnataka, at least as such, and achieved a rank, and somebody who's been known across for her bold views. Thank you so much for joining us. This is for the keynote address, Ms. Chinmay P. Join your hands for her.
Larigo. Very good afternoon to everybody. I am Chinmay. I have secured All India rank 310 this time. Result bandadmele, they in almost all the interviews by channels and other mediums, they kept asking me one pertinent question. What brought you so far? What is it that differentiated your preparation from the other 14,000 people who wrote the main? And the key differentiator was having a mentor. And today I'm very happy that we're bringing this mentorship program to you guys. But I'll tell you the relevance of a mentor. Iga mains alli you get 20 questions. Our 20 questions only about 10 to 12 questions will seem familiar to you, right? The other 8 questions you will have to think on spot, and you have to prepare answers on spot and write them. And each question, every question that you miss is giving a comparative advantage to the rest of the 13,000 people. So how do you make use of your mental acumen to write those 20 questions? Nanig our knowledge illa andruno, how is it that I am able to write a certain approach to those 20 questions? This is where a mentor is helpful to you. I used to have a mentor for my UPSC preparation, and I think that was the game changer for me. How do you switch from a prelims mode preparation to a mains-based preparation? How is your mind stimulated to think during the mains exam? How to train your mind to think for a question which you have never heard of? We've seen a question about twisters. Twisters nan word kele illa, nan enga answer barele idakke 10 mark ke. Like this, you'll face so many instances where you wouldn't have heard of what is there in the question. But having a mentor, you will be able to brainstorm. You will be able to think like an aspirant. You'll be able to think like an officer. A mentor might help you with the smallest of the smallest thing. I remember asking my mentor at a certain point, saying, I have so much mental exhaustion. How do I deal with it? And he said, listen, tomorrow if you become a district collector and if you say I have mental exhaustion and sit back in your room or in your quarters, who will take care of the entire district? So this should be your attitude. So as you prepare for the mains, you should think like an officer, you should think like a bureaucrat, you should think like someone who's ready to serve the nation. And it's not just that, there should be a change in mindset. This mentorship program is designed to cater to certain amount of mental stimulation, right? How at that given point of time, I'm able to think of 5 advantages, 5 disadvantages, and what should be given more weightage. Am I supposed to think on views that the government has given? Should I have a different opinion? So it happens such that, at times we believe in a certain opinion, but the government doesn't think of the same topic on the same lines. So in such cases, how do I differentiate my answer? And then when there are 20 questions that are presented to us, for each question, if I'm able to give 1 extra mark because of a mentor or because of my mentor who has guided me or who has taught me how to think on certain lines, I will get 20 marks. 20 marks in 4 papers translates to 80 marks. What does 80 marks do? It brings you from not being in the list to being in the list. It is as simple as that. So today, I'm just going to tell you what we're going to do in this mentorship program. So each of the papers, we are going to discuss the approach, how to approach the paper, how we are going to elaborate on the themes in the paper, and how, as soon as you see the question in the question paper, you don't panic. how you can brainstorm. Everybody says brainstorming is for essay paper, brainstorming is for your optional papers. But no, I will say that brainstorming is for each and every question in your GS paper. And illiroru tumba jana heltira, ma'am, prelims e pass agilla, how can I think about writing the mains? If you have done your basic prelims preparation, now is the time that all the 10 lakh aspirants who are going to study for UPSC or who want to, be triumphant in UPSC are going to study for mains. June to September is what every UPSC aspirant will study for mains. So at this time, if you are missing out on this train and not studying for mains or not preparing your approach in the right manner, then next year when you clear the mains, you will not have the same experience that these other guys have, correct? They will be preparing for mains for the first time. First time alog bariyadakku, illa second time, one trial run ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ತಿರ್ಗಾ ಹೋಗಿ ಬರೆಯೋದಕ್ಕೂ, there's a difference, right? Are you guys with me? Yeah. So in this mentorship program, we've all come together to help you and give a personal touch to your answers, to have a customized approach for each and every one of the aspirants who enroll for this program, right? Because what is my strengths, I always tell all the aspirants, have your own SWOT analysis. Know your strengths, know your weaknesses, know your opportunities, know your threats. So based on your personal SWOT analysis, each of us here will be here to guide you and mentor you and to capitalize on those which are your strengths, those which are your weaknesses, and how to tackle the opportunities and threats, right? So why do I keep talking about mentorship? Why is mentorship important? Anybody who wants to answer? Direction, time. First time in 2022, when I wrote the mains for the first time, I was writing a mock exam of ethics. For 3-hour paper, I wrote for 6.5 hours. 6.5 hours, I didn't get up till I finished the paper, but I wrote for 6.5 hours. It took me 6.5 hours to finish one ethics paper. So what is it that I'm doing wrong that others are doing right? How are they able to finish it in 3 hours? What is it that I'm doing wrong? Okay, I read all the toppers' copies. Okay, I have seen the model answers. But why is it that I'm not able to translate what I have studied in those 3 hours? So if there is somebody who's made mistakes time and again, they can help you or save you from making the same mistakes. Even if they're not giving you the right approach, if they are able to even help you get out of the wrong approach or help you save yourselves from those 10 or 20 mistakes, you will save on a lot of time, right? So certain mistakes that we all did, I think 18 mains is the cumulative count that we have. So all of us, eight of us put together, we've written 18 mains. So in those 18 mains, we would have made about 64 mistakes. So the 64 mistakes is something that we will save you guys from. And you know that mains, I mean UPSC by the year is becoming more and more challenging, right? You don't see any conventional questions now. The questions are also very dynamic in nature, and where you have to put on your thinking hat and think. How will you be able to think if you don't have somebody to handhold you and guide you and to, explore the right angle to that question? So this is what the mains mentorship program is trying to bring to all of you. And all of us will have a one-on-one conversation with each of you whenever you book your slots. And we will try to guide you in the right manner so that you can get the most out of this and also have the best possible preparation as far as general studies and essay is concerned. I think that's what I would like to end with. And this is the right time for you guys to all invest in preparing yourselves for the mains. June to September is the window that everybody across India, whoever has done the foundation subjects, prepares for the mains. And this is a train that you guys should not miss, whether it is with this program or elsewhere. Make sure that you guys are preparing yourself for the mains, and make sure that when everybody is going to write the mains across India, whoever has made it to the list, make sure that you are prepared that day to write the mains like them. Only when you are prepared to write the mains like them on that day for those 3 hours or 6 hours or 9 hours, only then will you be able to ace the exam whenever you write the mains, right? So I'd like to end with this note and I'm hoping that all of you make the best of this opportunity, because I think it's the first time that all the Karnataka toppers have come together in such a huge number to bring such a program to you guys, and hoping to see you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was a lot of clarity, idea, and perspective that was put behind, and it was very well conveyed. Most important word probably which I caught through was the right investment of your time. We always tell that what you spend in UPSC is not time, is not money, is not anything. You're investing your time, and if you're supposed to be honest to something, you're supposed to be honest to that time, because everything else can come back. This time will never come back. Probably you're at the right moment, right state, right frame of mind that you need to build over the next, so that this can give you a. We all now invite you to the panel discussion that we follow. We'll take very few minutes so that we can set around the seatings. I request all the achievers on stage so that we can have. Meanwhile, Mr. Manoj has a few things to share, and then we will take things forward. Yes. Well, can I request the achievers so that we can make a few changes on the seating arrangements? Thank you so much.
How many of you have watched the Big Bang Theory web series? You may know about Sheldon Cooper, who has photographic memory. You know what is photographic memory, right? How many of you have that? Nobody. Then you should be noting down all the points that we on the stage. In my ma'am said so many good points. So like if you do not have the photographic memory, you should be noting it down, then introspecting. What did ma'am say and what I am doing right now? So there the improvement lies, right? Just by attending the class, listening to it, and going back to room, the improvement is not going to happen. The self-introspection factor is the most important aspect. Whether if you take mentorship from All India Rank 1 or the best mentor in India, it's not going to matter if you don't self-introspect. That is why please note down. If in the panel discussion, if there are very good points, note it down. Go to room, analyze. That is where the real growth lies. Thank you.
Okay, so the format will be the panel discussion. The first panel in terms will be the art of scoring in UPSC mains. Art of scoring in UPSC mains. The theme for the first panel will be what separates a good answer from a rank winning answer. This is the objective that we are looking at. And along with the achievers on stage, Mr. Kiran, Mr. Sagar, and Mr. Manoj already present, I invite Mr. Basuraj sir. Basuraj sir is a very well-known mentor in faculty, our own team man. He'll be joining us on stage for a faculty perspective. So next panel, we'll have Ms. Chinmay, Mr. Sandeep, Mr. Manjunath, our own team man who will be joining along with us, and request one other from the same Achievers panel to also join along. The first panel, the theme is the art of scoring in UPSC mains. The art of scoring in UPSC mains, the theme to be what separates a good answer from a rank winning answer. Okay, so I'm not telling the ranks today of anybody because each of them are an achiever in their own right. Each of them have gone through a journey. And each one of you will not listen from the framework of what is the rank number that they have achieved, but rather what they've gone through as part. Okay, this is something that is common to all of you. This is something that some of you have experienced, and some of you are definitely going to experience as time takes by. From that perspective, so probably warm welcome to all of you. Very good evening. Thank you so much as achievers to join each one of you. The first question probably is the theme itself, which probably each one of you can take a few seconds to answer, and then we'll have questions that we have taken in from all the aspirants that we're taking. So the question itself is the theme. What separates a good answer from a rank winning answer? To start with, probably Kiran sir.
First of all, good afternoon to everyone. Come on. Answer to this question. First, I would answer what is a good answer first, and then move on to what makes better or even very good answer. The good answer is one, I say, answering first and foremost. Most basic is answering to the demand of the question. Have to first think of value addition, or I'll bring that data, this figure, that schematic. That is all secondary. It is first and foremost understanding what is the demand of the question. So if you're not hitting the bullseye there, you're not understanding and the demand of the question and writing anything beyond that, not be a good answer. So first, hit the demand of the, to understand the demand of the question. Then conceptually, I think, yes, presentation would be, the presentation can be paragraphs or points, but usually it is in GS, it's a point-wise format. So you have to write in a very legible and in a structured format. That would be second. So then I feel that even handwriting to an extent matters. That also has its share into making an answer good answer. Now, what makes it a very good answer? The exact frame, what makes a good answer? Rank winning answer. So I feel now this is when the value addition starts happening. So most people, I feel that irrespective of whether they've given mains or any serious aspirant who has spent 1 or 2 years, to throw a topic them, at least I feel that a base level answer will be written by them. They will be able to comfortably come up with 5-6 points each the demand. Now, what makes it very good answer or an ranker level answer is that, yes, I have answered the demand of the question. Now, the recent trend has been that there's something called as the implicit demand and the explicit. Now, till probably in the last years, till then, I would say, or till 2022, the trend was that you are answering only to the implicit demand. Understood the question broken down into multiple, then you are answering just to that. That is the explicit demand. It says, a question says that the challenges related to explain the challenges in the food security. That's it. It's looking at challenges. Now, 22 till 22 or maybe before that, it would have ended at just explaining the Food Security Act, the challenges, procurement, etc. Challenges with that. That's it. Now the trend has been set to understand implicit demand. Implicit demand is that, okay, these are the challenges. Now, what should be done? That is the way forward. That was not explicitly asked in the question. Be it 10 marker or my advice is you have to identify one and address it as a part of your answer. That is something good answer. Then comes the lot of value addition. It can be data, facts, figures, judgment, committees, recommendations, subject specific keyword. Now, I think that should be again a bottom line. Answering subject specific. If I'm reading environment answer, it sound like an. If I'm reading Indian society answer, I'm reading. So subject specific keywords, value addition, answering the demand of the question. and answering, identifying one more implicit demand, I feel is a good, and also how you end at the end, conclusion part. Most people, what they start off very well with the introduction, the body, most people do that. Conclusion, they usually just neglect it, or they feel that, or even if the conclusion is there, it just tapers off, doesn't really summarize what you've told, or uh, I will conclude with conviction. So you have to conclude with conviction, have that um, right words, the energy, and then not just tape, also concluded with conviction. What I feel makes
Brilliant,
a
sir.
good
So,
answer. to a
sir
ranker.
has given a very thoughtful perspective. He's broken it down, starting from that, please stick to your basics, understand the demand of the question, and getting into specifics of what you need to add, how it makes a rank weighing answer. That's very thoughtful. Probably along with that, you can add upon a little pre-preparation to that rank winning answer. So, a mindset and a pre-preparation to rank winning. Manoj ji.
So, whenever we think of a good answer, what usually I approach it is through the concept of USP. What is the unique selling point of our answer? That is, let's say a room of 40 people. Think from the perspective of the evaluator. You are evaluating 40 copies, and if everyone is writing the same content, reading the same materials, why would the evaluator give you half marks extra for a single question? That should be the thought process. What am I doing different than the peers? What value can I give to the evaluator so that the evaluator feels convincing that this person has understood the subject? What are we doing in that case? For example, when I used to discuss with Akka, like, she mentioned about the usage of doctrines in TS2 answers. Doctrine of public trust, doctrine of reasonableness, doctrine of non-arbitrariness. They are subject-specific keywords that I learned from her. Then when we come to ethics, let's say, in ethics, when we use case studies, so their case studies, what is the usual dilemma? There is some practicality and there is some principle, ethical principle. So usually the dilemma is between them, whether to choose the practicality or the dilemma. But there is a beautiful principle called as principle of, doctrine of principled pragmatism. Principled pragmatism. That is, we are sticking down to our core values, but at the same time, adapting according to the necessity of the situation. So when we use words like this, the evaluator understands that each person has genuinely understood the subject. And as Kiranana mentioned, understanding the explicit and implicit demand of the question. So from mains, what is UPSC expecting from you? UPSC is expecting, if UPSC is giving you challenges, are you writing solutions also? Is it your thought process? Is it embedded in your thought process that you are writing solutions way forward whenever there is a challenge? And let's say there was a question on the role of extremists in Indian freedom movement. So in that question, the question was that in the PYQ question, identify the contribution of the extremists to Indian freedom movement. There, you also have to mention the limitations. Why didn't they succeed completely? What were the limitations? So the most important aspect of UPSC preparation is curiosity. So if this is the question, this could have been that. For example, there was a essay question on perseverance. So the question was, fall 7 times and get up 8. So in that question, what we usually do, we usually give examples of Dashrath Manji or someone who has failed, or anyone, any sports person who has failed again and again. We write an essay like that. But in that essay, don't you think there is a necessity of self-introspection at a certain point of time, where we have to realize that, yes, giving at this point is important, then blindly continuing. So that is the thought process. That is called as antithesis aspect. So in essay, there is thesis, antithesis, and how do we integrate them? It's called as synthesis. So this approach. So this is what separates some good answers from top answers. So I have read a lot of topper copies, especially in Kunal Rastogi's All India Rank 15. I saw that how beautifully he uses way forward, the keyword. So that is what our USP is. That is what helps in getting that half marks extra in every paper is what I feel. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So, moving on to Mr. Sagar now. Sagar, when we look at a high scoring answer, there will be a lot of planning behind that. I want to write like this, I want to write. But when you face a question in the exam hall in that surprise scenario, so for everybody wants to write a very good answer. But what is that immediate thought and how do you push into it? Again, a rank scoring answer.
Yes, sir. Good evening, everyone. Sir, ಫಸ್ಟ್ಗೆ ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಸ್ಕೋರಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಬರೆಯೋಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ನ ಬರೀಬೇಕು. ಗುಡ್ ಆನ್ಸರು ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಸ್ಕೋರಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಗಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ಬರೀರಿ. ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ಬರೆದಾಗನೇ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ಮದು ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ, ಅದಾದಮೇಲೆ ನೀವು ಹೇಗೆ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ದೆನ್ ಯು ರೈಟ್ ಗುಡ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್, ಆಮೇಲೆ ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಸ್ಕೋರಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್. ಈ ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಸ್ಕೋರಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಗುಡ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ಹೇಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ನೀವು ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಬರೆದಾಗ ಸೊ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್ ಟು ನೋ ಅಬೌಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್, ದೆನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್. ಅದಾದಮೇಲೆ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಸಿ ಎನಿ ಟಾಪರ್ಸ್ ಕಾಪೀಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಟಾಪರ್ಸ್ ಈ ಆನ್ಸರ್ನ ಹೇಗೆ ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರು, ನಾನು ಹೇಗೆ ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನು ನೀವು ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರಿಸನ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡಾಗ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ರೈಟ್ ಗುಡ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ರೈಟ್ ನೇಸೆಂಟ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್, ವರ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್. ನೀವು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಬರಿತಾ 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 ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್ ಟು ನೋ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಹೌ ಟು ರೈಟ್ ಗುಡ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್. ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್. ಸೊ ನಾನು ಕೂಡ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಮುಂಚೆ ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಕೂಡ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸೇ ಬರೆದಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಒನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಐ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಟು ರೈಟ್. ಸೊ ಬಸವರಾಜ್ ಸರ್ ಹತ್ರ ಬಂದಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಶಿಲ್ಪಾ ಮ್ಯಾಮು ಬಸವರಾಜ್ ಸರ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇರ್ತಿದ್ರು. ಸೊ ನಂದು ಯಾವಾಗ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ರು, ಸಾಗರ್ ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್. ಎಸ್ ಸರ್, ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್. ನಾನು ಬರೀ ಓದಿರೋದು ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಇಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷದಿಂದನೂ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಓದ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಬಟ್ ಆದರೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಬರೀಬೇಕು, ಇರೋ ಕಂಟೆಂಟಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಬರೀಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ UPSC. ನೀವು ಬ್ಯೂರೋಕ್ರೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಅಡ್ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಟರ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಇರೋ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಇರೋ ಮೆನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಇರೋ ನಾಲೆಜಲ್ಲಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಇರೋ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಯುಟಿಲೈಸ್ ದಟ್ ನಾಲೆಜ್, ರಿಸೋರ್ಸ್, ಮೆನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟ್. ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ ನೀವು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಇರೋ ನಾಲೆಜ್ನ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಆರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ರೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್. ಸರ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ರು ಹೇಗೆ ಬೌನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ಬಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಯಾವ ಥರ ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಬೌನ್ಸರ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಬಂತು, ನೀವೆಲ್ಲೂ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಿಪ್ರೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಟ್ ಆಲ್. ಬಟ್ ಆದರೆ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ರೈಟ್. ಯಾಕೆ, ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟರು ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ಆಚೆ ಇರ್ತೀರ. ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನಿಂದ 3 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಬಂತು ಅಂತಂದರೆ 3 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 30 ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್. 30 ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ 3 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಬಂದರೆ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಅಥವಾ ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅದನ್ನು ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ನೀವು ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ವಿತಿನ್ 30 ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ರೈನ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋ ನಾಲೆಜ್ ಇಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಓದ್ತಾ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಓದಿರ್ತೀರಾ, ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಓದಿರ್ತೀರಾ, ಅಥವಾ ಟಾಪರ್ಸ್ ಟಾಪ್ ಕೇಳಿರ್ತೀರಾ, ಟಾಪರ್ಸ್ ಕಾಪೀಸ್ ಕೂಡ ನೋಡಿರ್ತೀರ. ಇಷ್ಟು ಎಲ್ಲದನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಏನು ಬರೀಬೋದು, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಡಿಕೋಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ನ ಡಿಕೋಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾದಮೇಲೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಬರೀಬೋದು. ಸಮ್ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕ್ವಶನಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಬರೀತೀರಾ, ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ಗೂ ಸೇಮ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ನ ಬರೀತಿರ್ತೀರ. ಸೊ ಕ್ವಶನ್ನ ಬರೆಯೋಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂಚೆನೇ, ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಬರೆಯೋಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂಚೆನೇ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಥಿಂಕ್, 2 ಪಾರ್ಟಾಗಿ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಈ ಪಾರ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬರೀತೀನಿ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಬರೀತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಿರಣ್ ಅಣ್ಣ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲಿಸಿಟ್ ಮತ್ತು ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಸಿಟ್ ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅಂತ. ಕ್ವಶನಲ್ಲಿ ಲೈಕ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಇದು ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನಲ್ ಮೊರಾಲಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಬಂದಿತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನಲ್ ಮೊರಾಲಿಟಿನ ಜುಡಿಷಿಯರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕರಪ್ಷನ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳಿದರು. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನಲ್ ಮೊರಾಲಿಟಿನ ಬರೀರಿ ಅಂತ ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಹೇಳಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ರೈಟ್. ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನಲ್ ಮೊರಾಲಿಟಿನ ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾದಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಫ್ಲೋ ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಥರ, ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನಲ್ ಮೊರಾಲಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲಿಸಿಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ದ ಕಾಂಪೋನೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನಲ್ ಮೊರಾಲಿಟಿ. ನೀವು ಆ ಕಾಂಪೋನೆಂಟ್ಸ್ನ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಎವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಯೇಟರ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಅವ್ನಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನಲ್ ಮೊರಾಲಿಟಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನಂತ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟಾಗಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ನೀವೇನು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬರೆದ್ರು ಮೇ ಬಿ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಗುಡ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಸಿಟ್ ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಕ್ವಶನ್ನ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದನ್ನ ಕಲೀರಿ. ನಾನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್ ಏನಂತ ಅಂದರೆ, ನನಗೆ ಟೈಮ್ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಿತ್ತು, GS ಕೂಡ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ಬರೀತಿದ್ದೆ ಡೈಲಿ. ಆದರೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಬರೀಬೇಕು ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ನ, ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋವಂಥ ನಾಲೆಜಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್ನ ಡೈಲಿ ಓದ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಪಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಟು ರೈಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಮೈನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಪೇಪರಲ್ಲಿ ಓದಿರೋದನ್ನೇ ತೊಗೊಂಡೋಗಿ ಬರೆಯೋದು. ನೀವು ಮೊದಲು ಓದಿಲ್ವಾ, ಬಟ್ ಇವಾಗ ಓದ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಅದನ್ನೇ ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್. ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲ ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು, ಎಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ರಾಟ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್. ನೀವು ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಓದಿರೋ ನಾಲೆಜನ್ನೇ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಸಲ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಟಾಪಿಕ್ಸ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲಿಸಿಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನೀವು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾಗ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ವರ್ಕ್. ನನಗೆ ಅದು ಫೀಲ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಟಾಪರ್ಸ್ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಾಗ ನಂದು ಮೇನ್ಸ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸು ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ 752 ಯಾಕೆ ಬಂತು, ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಯಾಕೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇತ್ತಂದರೆ ಮೊದಲೇ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಯಾವಾಗ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿಲ್ಲೋ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ಸ್ನ ರಿವಿಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಡೋಂಟ್ ಡೂ ದಟ್ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್. ಬಟ್ ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅಂದರೂ ಕೂಡ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಗೆಟ್ ಅನ್ ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟಿ ಟು ರೈಟ್ ಮೇನ್ಸ್, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ರೈಟ್. ಹೇಗೆ ಬರೀತೀರಾ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ವಿತ್ ಯುವರ್ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ನಾಲೆಜ್, ವಿತ್ ಯುವರ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಫೇರ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ನಾಲೆಜ್, ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ ವಿತ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್, ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನಲ್ಲಿ, ಕನ್ಕ್ಲೂಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಫೇರ್ಸ್. ಲೈಕ್ ನಕ್ಸಲಿಸಮ್ ಬಂತು ಅಂತಂದರೆ MHA ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಹೋಮ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಆಪ್ರೇಷನ್ ನಡೀತಿರುತ್ತೆ ಛತ್ತೀಸ್ಗಢಲ್ಲಿ, ನೀವು ಇದು ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಓದ್ತಿರ್ತೀರ. ನಕ್ಸಲಿಸಮ್ನ ಹೋಗಿ ನೀವು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ನ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀಬೇಕಂತ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಓದಿದರೆ ಯು ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರೇಟ್ ದಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಇಂಟು ದ ಆನ್ಸರ್. ಸೊ ಈ ಥರ ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್ ಇರಲಿ. ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಿರೋದು ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಥರ ಬೌನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ಬಂದು ಅದಕ್ಕೇನೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರು ಹೇಗೆ ಬರೀಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಇರೋ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ನ ಹೇಗೆ ಬರೀತೀರಾ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ರೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ಒಂದು ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ನ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಆರ್ಗನೈಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಥಾಟ್ಸ್. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಥಾಟ್ಸ್ನ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ದೆನ್ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆನ್ ಇಟ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಮೇಲೆ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆಗೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ ಗುಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ರೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ನೀವು ಎಷ್ಟೇ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಇರಲಿ, ನೀವು ಎಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷನ ಓದಿರಿ, ಹೇಗಾದರೂ ಓದಿರಿ, ಬಟ್ ಮೇನ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಡ್ ಆಗಿ ವಿತ್ ಗುಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ರೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಲೆಜಿಬಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಕಾಣಿಸಿದೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ಬೇರೆಯೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಎವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಯೇಟರ್ ಮೈಂಡಲ್ಲಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿದೆ ಆನ್ಸರು, ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗೋಣ ಅಂತ. ಅದೇ ನೀವು ವರ್ಸ್ಟಾಗಿ ಬರೆದಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಡ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸಲ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅಂದರೆ ನೀವು ಗುಡ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಬರೆದಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಸಿಗಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ನಾನು ಇದನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ನ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋ ಲಿಮಿಟೆಡ್ ನಾಲೆಜಲ್ಲಿ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಬರೆದಾಗ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಮೋರ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗೋದು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ 1 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸು ಮೇನ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾಕೆ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು, 1 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 10 ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್. ಸೊ ನಂದು ಇವತ್ತು 30 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ರೆ 300 ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಿತ್ತು. ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನು ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ವೋ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ರೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್. ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ವಿತ್ PYQs. ಸೊ PYQsನ ಆಯಿತಾ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಯು ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್, ದೆನ್ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಟು ಎನಿ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಸೀರೀಸ್, ರೈಟ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಡೇ ಬೈ ಡೇ ನೀವು ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತಾ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೈ ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
Thank you, sir. So, Basavaraj sir has introduced somebody who's been a mentor, faculty, and who's been continuously guiding. Sir, you have seen achievers, you've also seen people who've been struggling. When you see from both perspectives, so if I have to ask you, if there is one line definition that you can give of a high scoring UPSC answer, what would that be? Or how would you describe a high scoring UPSC answer in one line?
I think it is beauty with brains. So basically, I believe 75% of is content, they give marks, and 25% is representation. How do you represent your handwriting? I have seen Sagar's handwriting, I have seen Sandeep's handwriting recently. I believe I have not seen others' handwriting, but I'm sure that 9 out of 10 of these toppers will have very good handwriting. So probability is 9 out of 10 people with good handwriting will have more probability. 1 will be exception. Okay, but don't think that one is you. If you think like that, I think you might be a fool. So 90% probability works more. I agree, because Sagar said he was honest to say that he didn't have content because he has very good handwriting and representation. Okay, so that has added value. In a way, any topper's answer copy you see, they'll have good representation. The human civilization is still surviving because of rationality, but at the same time, we give certain importance to the external appearance or the beauty. Correct? That applies to society also, that applies to your answer also. So even UPSC has such kind of factors. So, but no one knows what is that formula. I said 75-25%. I don't know. No one knows. If someone says 100% I know, I think it might be a lie. So no one knows completely. So we are all here trying to guess what it is. And that's the beauty of UPSC as a constitutional body. So I believe a good answer is one where you address the answer with rationality. That rationality has both content and the representation.
Thank you, sir. So that's brilliant. Now we'll open this up. So rather than answer, yes, sir. Please, please, please.
Just add something. So I feel that while you're preparing, both for 26 as well as 27, maybe, thing is while preparing, think of content first, then structure, then time. Most people say when they've not started answer writing or just started answer writing, they ask, how should I finish within 7 minutes, 7.5 minutes? How should I finish it within 11 minutes or the 15 mark? That timing should not be a priority when you're starting. Beginning answer writing, your focus should only be on accumulating a lot of content. Then you are structuring that content based on the demand of the question. Then you are looking at how do I improve this again? What extra can I bring in this answer? Then you worry about the time. While gap, means gap, or for the till the next next attempt. Now, on the day of the exam, this priority gets exactly reversed. Day of exam, now you're thinking, oh, how do I finish it? Then how do I structure it? Then worry about the content. This should be a priority, and how you have to do now. So what happens is now around the year when your content is being, you're curating your content, improving upon it, doing value addition, and then structuring it, then worrying about the time. By the time, because you've spent so many months curating your or bettering your answers or content, refining your content, on the day of the exam, when I've asked you to reverse the priorities, don't think that your content will get, just because I've said content last on the day of the exam, does not mean that you're writing poor answers. That itself has internalized so much, refined so much, that even when you're putting at third priority, still you're writing very good answers. So timing, when on the day of the exam, timing first, structure next, then content. This should be the priority. Hope that you get that priority right. And as Sagar said, first start writing first. That's the basic. Directly day one, don't think how will I write like Sandeep Bhadat or how will I write like Manoj GS. That should not be a priority. They did not become rank ATT or whatever rank on the day of the paper. Happened over the year. Incremental means I feel answer writing to answer is incremental, like prelims where I give some tricks or some institute gives the next test, let's say a lot of changes. That works for prelims. For mains, no. Even with all these things, tomorrow you cannot immediately have a very good answer. It is going to take time. It's going to be incremental changes. The idea is involvement, consist, and as curiosity. Curiosity as what extra should I do? Get my answer, make my answer even better. So always my suggestion is take the feedback that comes from the mentor or the evaluators. Then also start to learn self-evaluating. You should always not be too dependent as like I need mentorship, I need this the evaluator, I want someone to evaluate my. Yes, at certain point, yes, really. But after that, I think you have to understand psyche of the evaluator on your own and understand. A simple key to this is don't be satisfied with don't be contented with the kind of answers you always try to think what more I can do. Even when you're getting like 5 out of 10, make an effort to get extra half marks. I will try to make 5.5 out of. If I'm getting 4.5, my effort would make it 5 out of. The challenge or the idea behind fighting for that half mark. For 20 questions, 4 papers, that questions, half a mark, 40 marks. And include that with optional subjects, 19, roughly take it just for the sake of calculation, another 20 marks there, 14 to 0.5. So this is 60 marks evaluation relentlessly thinking of getting that half mark for every question. So there is no miracle or pavada answer rating. The pavada is going to happen on everyday basis. Pavada or the miracle that is going to happen on everyday basis consist aim your answers. And I think also I feel that that is where maybe you must have studied on your own for prelim as an reading solo, but for mains that is where peer or mentors feedback, that's where it comes in, because every answer needs fresh perspective, new way of looking at the same, especially you need perspectives. And that was what I was discussing with Sandeep, and we are as humans are, and you cannot have all the thoughts or all personalities and bring it directly or very naturally in your from others. Compare your answers with the proper copies. Maybe start writing answers questions that the toppers have already written. That gives you a gauge as to what is the difference. Only when you have written bad answers, then you can improve and make it into good answers, and then you can improvise on it to make rank level answers, as sir wanting us to. So the idea is start writing. Don't expect that it will be a very good answer on. It is going on process, but that is why we are there to help. And I think that is why I feel whatever I said is the initiative is just amalgamation of all those things that we've just discussed.
Wonderful. So content, structure, time, and on the exam day, time, structure, and content. Very beautifully put forward. The idea has come through. Probably now, since Basraj sir has opened up the idea of how important is presentation and handwriting to some of them who will be listening and thinking, sitting there, handwriting is not so good, presentation skills are weak. Is this not my cup of tea at all? So what probably can be that suggestion that you as an aspirant, if you think back, one of you give it. All of you can open up on that idea. How do I do that? Many of us sitting there will say, my handwriting is not up to the mark. My presentation skills not up to the mark. What do I do?
My personal opinion, there is a beautiful quote by Usain Bolt. I practiced for 15 years to run these 10 seconds. That is, nobody can run sub 10 par in 100 meter without that much amount of practice. You need that practice. So for example, after Kiranana mentioned about the importance of peer group, I wanted to say that, like, find one dedicated person next to you, very dedicated, someone who doesn't waste your time. Then evaluate their answers from an evaluator perspective. What are you looking in that answer? Just give the suggestion. You can write this example. You can draw a diagram here. The same way, do it vice versa also. So you evaluate the other person's answer and the other person evaluates your answer. So what is happening is that you are understanding the psychology of the examiner. So even for the presentation and structuring everything, first you need the confidence in your content. That is, only if you are able to generate 10 points for a 10 marker question, then you can think of structuring the points, drawing a diagram, doing any value addition and all. So the one necessity is your practice. Second is the developing the mindset of the evaluator. What is evaluator looking from our answers? The third is peer evaluation and self-evaluation. So go through a lot of topper copies. Find that is common among all of them. And then that is the success formula. So if you, as sir mentioned, if 9 people out of 10 people have very good handwriting, that means you have to work on your handwriting. So that is, you don't need to write answers every day for that. Start writing your diary, start writing your anything that you come across. Start writing your thought process. Let's say you felt sad that day. Why did you feel sad? How can I overcome that? Write it down. The more you write and write, the more your improvement will happen in your thought process also, in your handwriting also. And with that, when you break down a question into implicit demand and explicit demand, your structure will also improve. That's it from my side.
Amazing. So that's great. If anybody wants to add anything to that. Meanwhile, probably since Manoj has now opened up a framework in terms of peer group, very important for all of you youngsters to note, he was very clear in telling, find a peer who doesn't waste your time. Okay, so it's important, but to ensure it's a right mindset and group as such. Now, importance of peer group and the idea. We learn good things, we learn bad things, and there are a lot of things there. The question specifically, which is interesting, which is what are the most common mistakes you have observed in answers among the fellow aspirants? ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತ ಬರಿತಾ ಇರೋರಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಒಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು ಏನು ತಪ್ಪು ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಆ ತಪ್ಪುಗಳಿಂದ ಏನು ಕಲ್ತ್ರಿ?
ಸರ್ ಆನೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾನು ಯಾರ್ದು ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ನೋಡೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನನ್ನ ಬಸವರಾಜ್ ಸರ್ ನೋಡ್ತಿದ್ರು, ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದನ್ನು ನಾನು ಇದು ಕರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತಿದ್ದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಸೊ ನನಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಪಿಯರ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಯಾರು. ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ನನ್ನ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ನೂ ಮೈನ್ಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬರ್ತಿತ್ತೋ ಏನೋ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇವಾಗ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ದ್ರೋಣ ಇನಿಷಿಯೇಟಿವ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೀವು ಬನ್ನಿ, ನಾವು ಕರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಹೇಗೆ ನೀವು ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಆ ಥರ ಟಾಪರ್ಸು ಇಲ್ಲ ಯಾರು ಹೇಳೋಕ್ಕೆ. ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಪಿಯರ್ ಗ್ರೂಪು ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು ಚಂದ್ರಾಲಯ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಕಾಲಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೆ ಮೇನ್ಸ್ ಬರೆಯೋಕ್ಕಷ್ಟೇ. ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಲೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೆ, ನಂದು ಲೈಬ್ರರಿ, ನನ್ನ ಲೋಕ, ಇಷ್ಟೇ. ಸೊ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದು ಬರಿಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಈ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಗೆ ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಪಿಯರ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ತುಂಬ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಪಿಯರ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸೊ ನೀವು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ನ ಜನ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ಸ್ ಆದಾಗ ಓಕೆ ಇವ್ರದ್ದು ಪರ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಹೇಗಿದೆ, ನಂದು ಪರ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಹೇಗಿದೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ರೈಟಿಂಗು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫ್ರೆಂಡೇ ನೋಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಅವನಿಗೇನೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಬರೆಯೋದು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಎವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯುಯೇಟರ್ಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಡಿಸಿಪ್ಲಿನ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅದು. ನೀವು ಲೈಫಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಲಿ ತುಂಬ ಡಿಸಿಪ್ಲಿನ್ ಆಗಿರಬೇಕು. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದನೇ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನೀವು ಮನೇಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ನ ಎಷ್ಟು ಆರ್ಗನೈಸ್ಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಇಟ್ಕೋತಿರೋ ಅದೇ ಥರ ಈ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ನ ಕೂಡ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸ್ಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಬರೀಬೇಕು. ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ನೀವು ಬರೆಯೋದು, ನೀವು ಏನು ಫುಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ರೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ವರೆಗೂ ಒಂದೇ ಥರ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಆದರೆ ಬರೆಯೋದು ಆಪೋಸಿಟ್ ಯಾರೋ ಒಬ್ರು ನೋಡಿದರೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಎವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯುಯೇಟ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? ಅದು ವಯಸ್ಸಾಗಿರೋ ಎವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯುಯೇಟ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? ಸೊ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೀವು ಏನು ಬರೀತಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಡಿಸಿಪ್ಲಿನ್ ಆಗಿರಲಿ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡು ನಾಟ್ ರೈಟ್ ಅಂತ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಕಡೆ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಆಗಲೇಬಾರ್ದು, ಯಾವುದೇ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೂ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಆಗಬಾರ್ದು. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಡಿಸಿಪ್ಲಿನ್. ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ನೋಟಿಂಗ್ ಬರೀಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, ನೀವು ಯಾವುದೇ ಜಾಬ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಜಾಬು, ನೀವು ಫೈಲಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಟಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಬರೀಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ನೋಟಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಬರೆಯುವಾಗ ನೀವು ಆ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ನ ಡು ನಾಟ್ ರೈಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಅಂತ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಮಾರ್ಕ್ನ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು ಯಾವತ್ತು. ಸೊ ಅದು ನಾನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಅದು ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿತ್ತು ಕೂಡ. ಸೊ ಹಂಗೆ ನಾವು ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು, ಅದು ಡಿಸಿಪ್ಲಿನ್ ಆಫೀಸರ್ಗೆ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಬರೀಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಅದೇ ಥರನೇ ಇರಬೇಕು. ನೀವು ಅದೊಂದೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಲೈಫಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿಷಯದಲ್ಲೂ ಹಾಗೇ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಅದು ಇನ್ನೆರೆಂಟಾಗಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ಹೇಗೆ ಬರೀಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅಂದರೆ, ಯಾರ್ದು ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ರೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಥವಾ ಫಾಸ್ಟಾಗಿ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಒಂದೇ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್. ನೀವು ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸೇ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ, ನನಗೆ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ನಂಗೆ ಕೈ ನೋವು ಬರ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ 3 ಅವರ್ಸ್ದು ಮೂರು ಪೇಪರ್ ಬರೀರಿ, 9 ಅವರ್ ಬರೀರಿ ಒಂದು ದಿವಸಕ್ಕೆ. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲೋಗಿ 6 ಅವರ್ ಬರೀತೀರಾ, 3 ಅವರ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಲಾಜಿಕ್ಕು. ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್. ನೀವು ಎಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರೋ ಅಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ನಿಮ್ಮದು ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಸಮ್ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ವರ್ಕೌಟ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲೋ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ವೋ, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಏನಂತಾರೆ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ ಮಾಡೋದನ್ನ ಕಲಿಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ರೈಟಿಂಗ್ ತುಂಬ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
Okay, so probably if any one of you also can add. So if one mistake or 2 mistakes that mistake nodi I learned that I shouldn't do this mistake, is there something as such?
The first one is the golden rule of the 3 lines. That is, your point should never cross 3 lines. Because this is what I usually think of. Why I will explain. Let's say you are writing a 10 marker question and you can write, let's say, 50 lines. If you are writing 4 lines, that means you can write 12.5 points. If you are writing 3 lines, that means you can write nearly 16 points. So you are able to bring in more dimensions when you stick yourself to 3 lines. That means you have to find the right keywords and the right examples to ensure that your single point is not crossing 3 lines. Another aspect is that you should have a growth mindset, not a stagnant mindset, especially in answer writing. We will write one first answer. We will look at toppers' answers. We will think, oh, my answer is rubbish. I won't be you stop writing answers itself. So then after clearing prelims, you start trying to practice answer writing. That shouldn't happen. So what is growth mindset? Write a bad answer. Ask yourself, how can I improve? What one point can I add? One dimension can I add? One example can I add? Immediately after reading answer, go back to your notes. What point did I miss from my notes? Then go to the topper copy. What? The topper, let's say you are writing some 3 lines for a single point. The topper may have used one keyword which explains the whole 3 lines in one single keyword. Find that keyword, integrate in your answers. Have that growth mindset, especially in UPSC preparation, having that growth mindset. Having that, like what happens is that if you feel bad, oh, I am not there yet, then we feel stagnant. We don't feel the urge or the compulsion to improve. Please don't do that. So always have a curiosity to learn from others. So from your peers, from toppers, from mentors, everyone.
Great. So, sir, this question probably specific for you. From the idea of a topper, what do toppers do differently first 5 minutes after reading a question? So as an achiever today, when you sit back and you look at your own self, as soon as you read the question in the first 10 seconds and probably in the first 5, what are the first things achievers do, or what did you do?
The first and foremost is, as I said, understand language of the question. What is it asking? Those real words. Words are important. Of course, they mean differently, but somewhere they all converge. Understand the demand of the. My first few seconds of thought is that I'm not worried about what should I answer. My first is understand the demand, break the question parts. That is the first thought I will be doing. If I'm able to break it into 2, 3 parts, then I'm addressing each of those and I have my answer. 2 pages or a 10 marker. So breaking the question parts, then that makes my job easier. Else, let's say if I'm narrowing it down and just, if there were 4 parts in that question and broke down into only 2, now I'm narrowing down the entire question. So it is very difficult. Just imagine you are asked to write about, let's say, renewable energy as a whole. That is one thing. And you're asked to write about solar energy. So writing to renewable energy will be much easier. Now, if I have just assumed or misjudged or just narrowed it down that it is about solar energy, now I am narrowing down the entire picture. It is very difficult to come up with points when you've narrowed down a topic. Whereas as long as you, it's a very broad topic, it's easier to generate more. So first, break down the question, number of parts, address each of those. And one more different, the initial thoughts would be, I would always consciously think of the various, because I feel the value addition is more volatile. Common points, most of them will write 5, 6 points. There are certain, let's say there's a GS2 question on PIL or judicial activism. Immediately there is like case laws that are immediately coming to my mind. I'm going to jot down immediately in shorthand at the side of it. Because these things you might forget while answering. You might initially know that I have to write all of this, but once you start writing on somewhere, you if you are not very conscious, will taper, maybe miss on those highlighters like the value addition. So also be wary of that.
Wonderful. So understand the demand, break down into parts, and then jump into, you'll definitely write. So very nice way to look at the first 5 seconds. Anybody wants to add anything to that specifically? Now let's get to Baswaraj sir from an evaluator's perspective, sir. When you look at a copy and when you specifically look at an answer, what are probably 1, 2, 3 things that you look at an answer for? So the specific question says, if you are evaluating copies, what are the first 3 things that you would look for?
So I think first is whether the person is addressing the demand of the question or not. That's the ultimate thing to give marks. Another thing, the structure of the answer, how it is visibly looking in the paper. Okay. Then every person will have the unique flavor of writing, especially in essay ethics paper. That gives more marks than in GS 1, 2, 3. I believe GS 1, 2, 3 papers are more like abstract ones, where you need to have different diverse keywords of that subject. But in essay ethics, connecting the things, articulation, your own flavor, that we say original writing, that no one can write that. That gives you the main marks, especially essay ethics. But I believe usually in students, I feel if you are writing answers initially, you will look for perfection. I think perfection is the biggest enemy. Okay, so when the topper was saying that he wrote the test for 6.5 hours. Okay, ತುಂಬಾ ಜನ ಮೈಂಡ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿರುತ್ತೆ 6.5 hours ನನ್ಗಾಗಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಸಿರುತ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? The first thing is that determination or the perseverance. I believe because I have seen toppers who are my students in the last few years also. That one common thing that all the toppers will have is that determination. Without that, I think no one can clear the exam. That is the must. So see, determination doesn't mean that, okay, someone might be studying for more than 10 hours. Someone might be even studying only for 5-6 hours. Determination is not the number of hours. It is what is the target that you have set and whether you will reach it or not by hook or crook. That is very important because so even though Sagar didn't have lot of content, so we used to say that ತುಂಬಾ ಜನ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಹಂಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಬರೆದು ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. He wrote the test almost even at the end also. Continuous test ಬರೆದಿದ್ರು. So that shows something of the character. As a, let's say, as an administrator, they are looking for that. Somewhere, whether be it in mains or interview, ಅದನ್ನ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ. Everyone will have their unique character. ಆ ಒರಿಜಿನಾಲಿಟಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಆದಾಗ they will just select you. For example, even this year's interview also, they have given marks like a binary numbers. Either it will be more than 170, 180 or less than that. Why is because they are sure that, okay, I want this person in the service. That's it. So if they find that originality in you, they will pick you. Even that originality should be there in your answers. Okay.
Great, wonderful, sir. So leading to Sagar, probably for the penultimate question, and then one last question we'll open up to all of you. One question we'll take from the audience for this panel, and then we'll move on to the second panel discussion. So, Sagar sir, two questions specifically. For all of you who are newly introduced or very new students of us, Sagar worked as a police sub-inspector, field job, and with all that work through, he's prepared and he's gone through that. So that's why many specific things are coming out with respect to. So, at what stage did you realize knowledge is not alone enough to score well? And second, what kind of feedback changed your answer writing journey? Because you were ನೀವೇ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗೆ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಫೀಡ್ಬ್ಯಾಕ್. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಫೀಡ್ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಯುವರ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ರೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಜರ್ನಿ? ಅಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಡಿಡ್ ಯು ರಿಯಲೈಸ್ ನಾಲೆಜ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಐ ನೀಡ್ ಲಿಟಲ್ ಮೋರ್?
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್, ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ಬರೆಯೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಪ್ರಿಪ್ರೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಡಿಟರ್ಮಿನೇಷನ್ ಸರ್ ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ, ಡಿಟರ್ಮಿನೇಷನ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಓಕೆ ನನಗೆ ಸಿಗೋ ಅವರ್ಸಲ್ಲೇ ವಿತಿನ್ 4 to 6 ಅವರ್ಸಲ್ಲೇ ನಾನು ಬರಿತೀನಿ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಮೈಂಡ್ ಸೆಟ್ನ ಬೆಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ನ ಬರೀಬೋದು. ಸಿ ಒನ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಎ ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಗೇಮ್. ನೀವು ಮೆಂಟಲಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಡೂ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಬಾಡಿ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ನೀವು ಎಷ್ಟೇ ವೀಕ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೂ ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ನಿಮಗೆ 3 hours ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಬರೆಯೋದು ಕಷ್ಟ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕೈ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಬಟ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಮೆಂಟಲಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್, ನಾನು ಬರೀಲೇಬೇಕು, ಎವ್ರಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ರೈಟ್ ಅಂತ ಬಂದರೆ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ರೈಟ್. ಸೊ ಮೇಕ್ಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ. ಸೊ ಇದು ಒಂದು ಥಿಂಗು. ನಾನು ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ಬರೀಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ 5 ಲೈನ್ 6 ಲೈನ್ ಬರೀತಿದ್ದೆ, 6 lines 7 lines ಹೋಗ್ತಿತ್ತು. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಬರೆದ್ಬಿಡ್ತಿದ್ದೆ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲಿ. ಸೊ ಕನ್ಕ್ಲೂಷನ್ನು ಬರದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಬಸವರಾಜ್ ಸರ್ ಎಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ಕನ್ಕ್ಲೂಷನೇ ಬರ್ದಿಲ್ಲ ನೀನು ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯಿತು. ಸೊ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸು ಆ ಥರ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ದೆ. ಹೇಳ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ವರ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸು, ನೇಸೆಂಟ್, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಲೇ ಅನಿಸುತ್ತೆ, ಏನು ಹಿಂಗೆ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಅಂತ. ಬಟ್ ಓವರ್ ಎ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೈಮ್ 70 days ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದಿಲ್ಲ India4IAS. 70 ದಿವಸ ಒಂದು ದಿವಸನೂ ಮಿಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್ 6 ಎದ್ದು ಫ್ರೆಶ್ ಅಪ್ ಆಗಿ 7 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಬಂದು 7 ರಿಂದ 8 1 hour ಟೆಸ್ಟು. ವೀಕೆಂಡ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಶನಿವಾರ ಒಂದು ಎಸ್ಸೆ, ಭಾನುವಾರ ಫುಲ್ ಲೆಂತ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟು. ಸೊ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟಾಗಿ 70 days ಕೂಡ ಬರೆದಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಯಾವತ್ತು ಆ ಥರ ಎಫರ್ಟ್ ಹಾಕ್ತೀರಾ, ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಯಾವತ್ತು ಬರೀತೀರಾ, ಈವನ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್, ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಲ್ಲ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಬೇಕು. ನೀವು ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ, ಬಟ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಟೈಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಥವಾ ಪ್ರಿಪ್ರೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ನಿಮಗಿರೋ ನಾಲೆಜಲ್ಲೇ ನೀವು ಹೇಗೆ ಬೆಟರಾಗಿ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟು. ಯಾವಾಗೂ ನಾನು ಬಂದಾಗ, ಸಾಗರ್ ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಬಟ್ ಯು ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ವೆಲ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ರು. ನನಗೆ ಅದು ಸಾಕಿತ್ತು. ಎಸ್, ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್, ಐ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ವೆಲ್. 3 ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಇದೆಯಾ, ಅದನ್ನೇ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಬರಿ. ಸೊ ಪೇಜ್ನ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದನ್ನ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಫೇರ್ಸ್ನ ಹೇಗೆ ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಸೊ ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಸಿಟ್ನ ಹೇಗೆ ತರಬೇಕು. ಕ್ವಶನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವೊಂದ್ಸಲ ಒಂದು ಕೀವರ್ಡ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದನ್ನು ಅವನು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾನೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಗೆ, ಆದರೆ ಆ ಕೀವರ್ಡ್ನು ಕೂಡ ನಾನು ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಿದ್ದೆ. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಆಮೇಲೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಿದ್ದೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಫೆಚ್ಡ್ ಮೋರ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಮೀ ಇನ್ ದ ಮೇನ್ಸ್. ಅಷ್ಟೇನಾ ಸರ್?
So now one last question where probably each one of you can come up with your thought process. If I am starting answer writing from today, if I want to make answer writing a habit, what is that one habit every aspirant should start from today? Probably starting with Kiran sir.
Just showing up. Because see, what happens is that when we start answer writing, the first thought that comes into our mind is give up, give up, give up. That's enough, that's enough. Like, let's say you're writing introduction, you are like, done. I'm done for the answer. Don't do that. Like, as Chinmayaka told, the self-introspection aspect, she got to understand that she is writing she's taking 6.5 hours because she wrote for 6.5 hours. That is, she could have given up at the first hour, she could have given up at the second hour. Not giving up, consistently showing up every day and writing 2-5 answers is what matters. Especially, it's a exponential curve. 1.01 to the power 1, 2, 3, 4 to the power 60. It will go up to 10, 15 like that. So for example, till today, I have gone through a lot of strategy sessions. I have gone through a lot of topper copies. I have talked to Kiranana, Sandeepana, Jayant Garg, All India Rank 61, so many of my peers. One thing that they have told me is that if they have practiced answer writing for 60 days, let's say 80 days, they never failed to be in the list. That is for sure. If you show up every day, if you write answers every day, you will find a way to improve yourself. So showing up is the one most important thing. Despite all the negative energies that is pulling you back, showing up is what matters the most.
One habit that I can.
Sir, I think what Manoj said just sets the tone. See, when I wrote my first test, I've read a lot for the first 3. When I sat down to write my first test, I probably wrote out of 20. It was GS1 test. I wrote around 13 or 14. And I think that was the most happiest day. Because for someone who has not written any answers, and I was not worried about I will finish 20 or I wrote 12 or 13. That was like the happiest day. I've roamed around Chandra that day like most happiest person. So you have to start at some point. That the bottom line is to start some point. You know you are going to write very bad essays. Probably I don't want to look at my own answer in 2021 or 22. That was the kind of answers. But from there on, one thing, as Manoj said, you have to just show up every day. Something like 2025 attempt where I wrote at least every day PYQ answers for all those 75 days PYQs. So that is like 70 days into 7 answers. That is 490 answers of just PYQ. Then there is weekly tests of 1 full length. So I did at least 2 iterations of in the test series and 2 simulators. That is 4 iterations of full length tests of GS1, 2, 3. Then that is again like 4 into 20, the 160. So 18 to 4. So that would be 240 there. Then another PSI, same thing for again PSI or the optional. So there I wrote just like Chinmay, wrote like my first PSI in 2024, the 5th attempt. I just read and I just wrote 2 tests for PSIR. That was the only 2 tests. And I wrote it for like 4.5 and 5 hours. So, but still on the day of the exam, I somehow finished both the papers. I got 250. And this year I wrote 16 tests for PSIR alone, 8 mini tests and 8 full length tests. So you have to start somewhere. You cannot directly do this. And I accumulated total of 950 answers. So that was my strategy. That was last year Rangamanju's strategies, year 24. And this is what the commonality around it ultimately is, that you have to show up, you have to do this every day. And it's not that you are doing blindly. You have to understand you are not chasing numbers here. Just because I said 950, now you start chasing, do 1050. That is not going to work. Every 950, like in those 950, it was an incremental change. My bottom line is that it is going to be incremental. It's just always chasing half mark or 0.25 mark. That's it. You start at 40, 50 marks out of 250, then you improve, then it is 70, then it is 90, then it is 95. Then I feel that answer writing is like this pyramid and divided into 3 parts. The bottom 2 tier you can fill in very easily. That is, you can reach up till 75, 80 marks very easily. But thereafter, from 80 to 100, that's the challenging part. So you have to take it as one answer or one test per day or one day at a time. You have to look it at one day at a time and not just rush and chase numbers. So it is incremental improvement.
Thank you so much, sir. So from an evaluator perspective, to probably close with, if you're telling your students start with this habit, what is that one habit that you would want these students to start with?
Again, the same thing, practice, practice, practice. So I usually tell a logical connection in my class. So let's say ಇವಾಗ ನಿಮ್ಮ ರೂಮ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಅಥವಾ ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಿರ್ತೀರಾ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ, ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರ ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್? there is a subconscious connection to your habit. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕಾಗ್ನಿಷನ್ ಅದನ್ನ ಎವ್ರಿ ಡೇ ಮಾಡಿ 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 ಅದನ್ನು ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಈವನ್ ಹಿ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಸೆಡ್, ದಟ್ ನೀವು ಬರೆದು ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅ ಟೆಂಪ್ಲೇಟ್, ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ದಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ರೈಟ್. ಈವನ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿ ಸಬ್ಕಾನ್ಷಿಯಸ್ಲಿ ಬರೆದ್ರು ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಅ ಗುಡ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್. ವೈ ಇಸ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಅದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ತಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ನಿಮಗೆ ಅನ್ಸಿರಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ತಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಬೇಸಿಕಲಿ human, it's a time where humans should become more like robots and robots should become more like humans. So I think it's a mixture of it. So you reduce your emotions, be more like robots with basic human values. Even in answer writing, to write, be a robot. To bring in emotions, you will give up. Thank you.
Wonderful. So thank you so much. One question from the audience quickly, if anybody wants to raise your hand so that we can reach out to you. Any one question from the audience? Okay, anything from online? Do we have a question online? On the chat box, those who are attending online. Any one question? Yes, ma'am.
Sir, with regards to value addition, we should add, like you said, facts and data, example and all of current affairs. So we will already have so much content of particular subject. We will already memorize those. So how we will again retain current affairs for each GS subject and add as a value addition to it?
Static notes you are revising regularly. Just 1, 2, 3. Current affairs, you are reading newspaper. You come across, let's say, a new judgment. You maintain. First of all, I will say for every paper there is subjects value addition. For example, judgments for DS2. You are compiling a list of judgments. Now this, you are not bringing it to current affairs. Base material, whatever base material come across judgments, you are just compiling them at one place. You are doing this for all of it, like paper specific. Then there is committees, there is judgments. For ethics, there is examples. So you are doing it separately, and value addition material is what you have to revise again and again, because I feel that is the most volatile material. Basic material, I feel once or twice if you read the basic point, you will start doing. You will write the basic 5, 6 points. But that is what most people are doing. Take 100, 95 will be writing the same answers. that will not change. The base material they are reading, all of them will be writing the similar points. I have a question on governor. Most of them will be writing the base material, which is similar. But I come up with value addition like a different, like the SR Bomai or the other particular judgment like the Rabia judgment 2016, etc. Now that is what is bringing difference. Read and about memorizing value addition. I feel that for mains, don't memorize anything. Except I'm not talking about the value addition. Don't memorize the basic part. It's all come in very normal. You are reading for the information first. Thereafter, it is like brainstorming or like active recalling. Start memorizing everything. It is a never-ending process, and you will go mad. Will you read? Will you remember? Not a not a school exam where wrote, learn something and dump there. That is not going to do that. That's the only thing you can do, not the value addition. My suggestion is read number of times the base material, even with only value addition material that you are compiling separately. You can go through my channel. I've put my note. That is how you should. And you are only revising that part. Let's say test is there, GS2 test. For the entire week, I'm doing the basic note and also going through this value addition I've prepared. Then at the end of the day, like just before going to write the test, not going to study or revise the base notes. I'm going to revise this value addition material. That's the most volatile one. I will remember article, governor one, or etc. That is there. I will pardoning powers or whatever, etc. The thing is, I will not remember the exact case law or the exact judgment that was there, or the case name, or the let's say some specific example of like the TN governor versus the Tamil Nadu, or these specific things, or some committee recommendations like the Sarkar. These are volatile materials. You should be putting all your energy in memorizing these, not the base. This is my suggestion. And current affairs, it's like directly, current affairs is just a trigger point. You don't have to worry about chase every current affair in the news. Your duty is follow the newspaper every day. That's why if you're reading only the current affairs magazine and not following newspaper, then it will become a burden for you. You don't know which topic is at what stage or which importance. Now, when you're reading newspaper, you're not just reading a particular event. You also understand. Let's say there is a question on delimitation, and you are following the news continuously for 15-20 days. There will be so many articles on delimitation that you don't. The basics of it will be naturally coming to you, and by the time you'll also develop a lot of perspectives, which you are again picking and posting in your validation note. How you should look at current affairs, and not current affairs as like, okay, every day it is getting updated. No, it might be updating. It is updating and you are feeling it is difficult because you are only looking at on that day. If you have continuously read newspapers, then you will also understand how the topic has evolved. You would be in much more advantage to just analyze the topic and not just rote learn and reproduce. Don't cram anything. Don't try to memorize anything. Mains is never going to end. Start doing that. My suggestion is focus only on value addition. The basic note. Raise your basic again and again.
Let me summarize. That's almost all the points he has covered. That is one of the biggest mistakes we trying to rote learn. Take a material, we try to rote learn it and omit it in the examination. That is not going to. First of all, like take any topic, have the curiosity to understand it. The sense, for example, whenever I think of housing and all, I will immediately go back to the Olga Tellis. That is inherent in my mind because you have like show that curiosity. Means, for example, governor issue, one of the most basic issues. What usually happens is that we take 5 points, then 5 examples, and then some conclusion and something, and we try to omit it in the exam. Before that, like just sit down. What is the current Tamil Nadu governor issue? How is it different from the Punjab issue, Kerala issue? Ask yourself, why did Sarkaria Commission say that the chief minister has to be in the panel which appoints the governor? Ask yourself, when you ask yourself that, you will start analyzing things. That is where newspaper reading helps. What we do when we do newspaper reading is that we read first page, we read editorial, we read the international aspect, we read it and we think that we are done. That's not going to help. If you read, if you come across a keyword, stop there. Google the keyword, use ChatGPT to understand that keyword. Then if you come across a very good suggestion for a particular delimitation issue, let's say, there's a very good suggestion. Stop there. Like think how that suggestion is going to help in the current issue. Like the current, some challenge is there, some solution is there. Think from a solution-oriented perspective, because when you become an IAS officer, IPS officer, you have to think from a solution-oriented approach. So this is the issue. Understand the issue and what is the solution for it. Always look for solutions. Always look for solutions. That's how it becomes an inherent part of yourselves, rather than cramming up data, figures and all. When you understand things, for example, I will give you one beautiful example. There was a question on renewable energy, solar energy this year. So what I wrote, the most of those points were from the Think School case study on solar energy. There is a beautiful channel called as Think School. Most of the Kavda, largest solar power plant in the world, in Asia, is coming up in Kavda in Gujarat and all. I wrote those points exactly the same. That is, if you have understood the things, then it will, rather than cramming up, if you have understood things well and better, then it is surely going to help, especially considering that we have to cover 17 subjects. Only if you have understood things, you will be able to manage them. Otherwise, you will cover subject 1, 2, 3, 4. By the time you come to the 5th subject, you forget 1. 6th, you forgot 2. 7th, you forgot 3. That will happen. So please understand this aspect. Thank you.
Great. So with that, we come to the end of the first panel discussion. Thank you so much to all the panelists for joining us. A lot of fruitful ideas and discussion. Very thoughtfully, Manoj started with telling that for each one of you, these may words that you may need to note down, because that is something that you have to carry forward. So every single word that each panelist has spoken today is worth a million words, because these are the mistakes, these are the inputs that probably would have missed as we take this journey forward. So thanking each one of you very much for this thoughtful discussion. I would request one of you also to stay back for the next panel while we give leave to Basuraj sir and others. So any one or two of you, if you can stay back for the next panel, it will help us. So I would request Chinmay ma'am to join us for the panel. Sandeep will be very soon joining us. I would request Manjunath sir from our team to also join the panel. The theme for the first panel discussion was the art of scoring in UPSC mains. What separates a good answer from a rank winning answer? The theme for the second panel is from preparation to rank. How toppers think, prepare, sustain momentum till the final result. So think, visualize, idealize, and probably also dream is all wonderful. But how is this journey from an aspirant to an achiever? How is the journey? How do they become toppers? That's something from a mindset perspective that we want to understand, and probably it will help us get much more clarity as we take forward. So introducing once again, we all have Kiran Kamate, Mr. Sagar, and joining us now, the keynote speaker today, Ms. Chinmay. Along with that, Manjunath. Manjunath sir has given his interview recently and a wonderful mentor teaching across subjects. Thank you so much to all the panelists joining us. The first question, as the theme itself goes. So the focus is on strategy, the focus is on mentorship, the focus is on consistency, but much bigger focus is on psychology and temperament. So probably Chinmay ma'am, if you want to start with you. What is the psychology or the mindset, the temperament that one needs to build through the preparation process, specific to mains?
So, sir, I'd like to answer your with an example. For example, in mains question, in mains paper, they ask you a question about right to privacy. Here, UPSC is not testing whether you know if right to privacy is somehow implied from the Constitution of India. It wants you to analyze and critically analyze and reason out what is the impact of right to privacy, what is the tussle between, I wouldn't say conflicting constitutional values, I would say competing constitutional values. What is the tussle between liberty and security of the state? UPSC is not checking whether you know or you're aware about Article 21. It wants you to critically analyze that component and somehow reason with yourself and decide between the competing constitutional values. So here on the face of it, it looks like you are only so if for a person who's just mugging up from the notes or is just reading from the and is not putting their mind to critically analyze or analytically reason things out, then they will be losing out. UPSC nowadays is not testing on your knowledge. UPSC is testing on your ability to reason, ability to analyze, ability to critically think. And as Kiran sir rightly said, those tail words are very important. There's so much difference between critically analyze and simply analyze. There's so much difference between describe and discuss, right? So understand the essence of each of these tail words is important. And also whenever you're studying something, like how Manoj sir said, that curiosity should not stop. It's a continuous learning process, and trust me, studying for mains is the most exciting process, because you're competing with the Chinmay of yesterday. Like I would compete with myself of yesterday. From 6.5 hours, my idea was to get it to 6 hours, then 5.5 hours, then 5 hours, then coming to those 3 hours. So the idea is to compete with yourself every day, and every day you're learning something so new. So how often is it that you learn something on a daily basis, and that too in such large quantity? So mains is essentially a extremely enriched process, and also you study so much in such less time, and it's so thrilling that you from morning to night. Like there were days when I was not able to sleep because I was so thrilled to learn to read new toppers copies. So 60% of your studies for mains, I would say would be from study material, from your sources, like from your books and your coaching notes. The rest of the 40% is seeing the toppers copies, analyzing the toppers copies, writing on a daily basis, seeing podcasts, seeing the news, or analyzing. So it's not that the entire 100% contribute towards studying. So your preparation strategy also be very diversified in nature. Like whenever I tell somebody, when they're studying for one component is your study material, one component your sources. The rest of the 4 components is analyzing the 10 years papers. When you see the 10 years papers, that certain themes are repeated almost every year. Every year there is a theme of water scarcity. You know that the theme is not going to go out of vogue. You know that it's going to come for the next 10 years. You know that themes like women empowerment is not going to go out of vogue. Only the fashion in which it is presented to the aspirant becomes different, right? So when you understand those themes and prepare on those and try to, explore your mind, or by discussing with your peers, as he said, you can get the best out of your preparation.
From the thought perspective, how important it is to build a temperament and the psyche behind it. So we have joined with Sandeep, Sir Sandeep, amazing teacher, guide, and somebody who has re-innovated himself to the UPSC journey. So probably along with temperament and mindset, the question that can add on, what was the turning point in your UPSC journey? When did you feel this is what I actually need to do and this is how I need to change?
The answer for is introspection, but that came afterwards when I started to look at those who are passing. Okay, before this May 6, if March 6, if some of you people who got the chance to meet any of us who have passed this year, you would have realized that if these guys can pass, then there is no reason for me to fail. So that was the turning point. When we were looking at toppers, we could see that they are just like us, the same flesh and body. Okay? They are just like us, who have studied from the middle schools, the same, the non-IITian engineering background. Okay? And who are not someone who has been that born genius. All right, this is the common platform that everyone is standing on before we are getting results. Okay, before March 6, we were standing on the same platform. But what pulled us here was the same thing, the determination, the consistency, and the perseverance and will to not give up and put whatever is required to bang on with force which it takes to break the door. So that was the thought that came, that ಇಂಥವರೆಲ್ಲ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಾನು ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗೋದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ವಿಷಯ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಸಿಂಪಲ್. ಬಟ್ ಇದು ಕೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ತುಂಬ ಏನಂತಾರಲ್ಲ ಹಗುರ ಅನಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಇಂಥವರೆಲ್ಲ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗೋಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, that is what is required to be inculcated. The moment I felt that, I started to look inwards and I started to introspect. ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ನಾನು ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳಿದೆ. ಓಕೆ ನೋಡಪ್ಪ, ನೋಡಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಒಂದು ಗಾಡಿ ಇದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೂ 4 ಚಕ್ರ, ಓಕೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೂ ಅದೇ ಸ್ಟೇರಿಂಗು, ಅದು ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ 120 ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ ಓಡ್ತದೆ, 1 ಲೀಟ್ರಿಗೆ 20 ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ ಕೊಡ್ತದೆ. ಬಟ್ ವೈ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಿನ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ರೇಸ್? Why your vehicle, same vehicle with same parameters, it is falling behind? It is the control over the steering, the direction, the control over the accelerator, the control over the brake. ನಾರ್ಮಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಗಾಡಿ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಎದುರುಗಡೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಗಾಡಿ ಬಂದರೆ ಟಕ್ ಅಂತ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಒತ್ತೋದು, ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ಟಕ್ ಅಂತ ಎಕ್ಸೆಲರೇಟ್ ಒತ್ತೋದು, ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದರೆ ಗಿವ್ ಅಪ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. But to reach the end, we need that controlled, consistent effort. So that was my inflection point, I can say. So the introspection, after learning that UPSC rewards those who are giving their 100% with a good faith to serve the public. That will keep the fire alive and that will take you to the end goal. So that's it, sir.
Wonderful. So he started with the word introspection and looking at others, but the most important word probably which I could catch is the idea of transformation. So that transformation is what we are willing, each one of you can go through that journey from aspiration to an achievement that we'll now reach out to our mentor. Sir, the focus, Manjunath sir, is on strategy, on mentorship and others. What role does personalized mentorship play in the journey of an aspirant?
Coming to personalized mentorship. So usually when we went to Delhi, so in the year 2014 and 15, there was a group mentorship. Like the mentor used to come and they used to give mentorship to 60 to 100 students based on the batch size. So it's like one size fits all approach. There will be a question, they will discuss the approach and they will go. And then after that, they will also give recorded video so that you see the video and you learn that. So what makes this personalized mentorship something very success oriented is it helps us to assess the strength and weakness of each and every aspirant. In group mentorship, that is not possible. So in personalized one-to-one mentorship, we are going to assess, or the mentors are going to assess each of the aspirants' strength, weakness, and as madam told, SWOT analysis, that will be done. Then objective-oriented feedback will be given. And to quote it in Sandeep Bharat style, so in which area you have to accelerate and where you have to put the brakes. So for example, coming to the brake section, so you will start collecting the material. So you will end up collecting some 5 to 6 material for one subject. So there you have to apply the brake. You have to finalize only one material. And coming to acceleration part, you have to practice writing. So there you have to accelerate more. So that's where this personalized mentorship plays an important role. So here the accountability builds, and if you come and check the students, I have an Excel sheet where I have mentored each and every session, how many sessions each student came and visited for the mentorship, what we have discussed, and after how many days they came back, be it for test series student or classroom students. We usually maintain a sheet. Earlier, I used to maintain a book. Now I switched to laptop. So in that, we get how the student is approaching, what is their learning track. So when they came to next mentorship, I will tell them in the last class, we have discussed this. What is the status of this topic? So here it plays very important role, and also it helps them to boost their confidence.
Great, sir. So the importance of regular mentorship and regular mentorship support is something that sir is emphasizing upon, and role that mentorship can play. So probably open to all of you, since all of you have taken more than one attempt in this journey, and specific somebody outside the stage also can take this question up. What changes between one unsuccessful attempt to a successful attempt? So what is that transformation, probably if I can pick up, that goes through as a student?
ಸರ್ ನಂದು 5 ಅನ್ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ಫುಲ್, ಒಂದೇ ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ಫುಲ್. ದಟ್ಟು ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಲ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸೇ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಓನ್ಲಿ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ CSAT. 5 ಸಲ ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಲ CSAT ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆದಾಗ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಆಗು, ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಹೋದು, ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ 2 months 3 months ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಪ್ರಿಪ್ರೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡು, ಎಗೈನ್ CSAT ಆಗ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಲಕ್ಕಿಲಿ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಕೂಡ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಬರೆದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು CSAT 1 ಕ್ವಶನಿಂದ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಿದ್ದೆ. ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೆ. ಸೊ ಸಡನ್ನಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ದಿವಸ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಯಿತು. ಆ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ದ ದಿವಸ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಯಿತು, ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಮೈನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ, ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಬರದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, PYQs ಅಂತೂ ಬರದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತೂ ಬರದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಗೇಮ್. ನೀವು ಯಾಕೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಲ ಫೇಲ್ ಆದವು ಕೂಡ ರೈಸ್ ಆಗ್ತೀರಾ. ವೈ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಇಯರ್ 2019 ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಎಲ್ಲದೂ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಿತ್ತು. ಒನ್ಸ್ ಐ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್, ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಐ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್, ಮೇನ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ. ಅದು ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ನಿಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿರಬೇಕು. ಒನ್ಸ್ ನಂದು ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಮೇನ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ. ಈ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಯಾವಾಗ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ನೀವು ಆ ಮೋಡಲ್ಲಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾಗ. ನಾನು ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಬಟ್ ಐ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಥಿಂಕ್. ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ನ ನೋಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಮೇನ್ಸ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂದರೆ ಈ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ನಾನು ಏನು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಬರೀತಿದ್ದೆ ನನಗೆ ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟಿ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ರೆ. ಸೊ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಆರ್ಗನೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬರೀಬೇಕು. ನಾನು ಬರ್ದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಬಟ್ ಐ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಥಿಂಕ್ ಇನ್ ದಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾನರ್. ಒಂದು ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಪೇಪರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಫೇರ್ಸ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಇದು ಹೇಗೆ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಹೌ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಐ ಯೂಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ಮೇನ್ಸ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹೌ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಐ ಮೇಕ್ ಒಪಿನಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ. ಒಂದೇ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಸಿ ಇನ್ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಗಲ್, ಮೇನ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಗಲ್, ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಆ್ಯಂಗಲ್. ನಾನು ಪ್ರತಿ 6 ವರ್ಷನೂ ಕೂಡ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಬಟ್ ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಲ ಓದಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಇದೇ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸ್ ಥಾಟಾಗಿ ಓದ್ತಾ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ದೆ. ಒಂದು ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಏನು ತೊಗೋಬೇಕು, ಮೇನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಏನು ತೊಗೋಬೇಕು, ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂಗೆ ಏನು ತೊಗೋಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಈ ಥರ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಆ ಝೀಲ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ, ನಂಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದೊಂದಿದ್ದರೆ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನಿಮ್ಮದು ಒಂದು ಸಲ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆದರೆ ನೀವು ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನಂದು ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದು 6th ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟಲ್ಲೇ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಯಿತು. ಸೊ ಎಗೈನ್ ಮೇನ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ. ಆ ಕ್ಲಾರಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಥಾಟ್ ಇರಬೇಕು ನಿಮಗೆ. ನಾನು ಯಾಕೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ನಾನು ಏನು ಓದ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ನಂದು ಫೇಲ್ಯೂರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ. ಸೊ ignorance cost me 5 attempts. The ignorance of CSAT cost me 5 attempts. ಆ ಇಗ್ನೋರೆನ್ಸ್ ನೀವು ಯಾವತ್ತು ತೊಲಗಿಸ್ತೀರಾ ಅಥವಾ ಅದನ್ನ ಯಾವಾಗ ನೀವು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನೀವು ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಅವತ್ತು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಡೋಂಟ್ ಇಗ್ನೋರ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಲೈಫ್, ನಾಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ದಿಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್, ಇನ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ವಾಕ್ ಆಫ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಯು ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಇಗ್ನೋರ್ ಎನಿ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಲೈಫ್. ಯಾವತ್ತು ಇಗ್ನೋರೆನ್ಸ್ ಬಿಡ್ತೀರೋ ಅವತ್ತು ನೀವು ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ಫುಲ್ ಆಗ್ತೀರಾ.
Question, sir, is what changes from one unsuccessful attempt to a successful attempt? What is that change?
Initially 2 attempts films and fail. I mean, failed for 2 attempts, but again I failed for 2 attempts by passing prelims because I lacked preparation. Like Kiran, Sachin, Sagar, and or Magnus was discussing, I was not ready to take that first step of writing answer. So I didn't write answers in my first 2 mains. So most of the people here might have wondered, even prelims pass agi means hoge hakandadne anta. That is what the lesson I learned. Okay, because on trot I cleared all the prelims since my 3rd attempt, but due to lack of preparation and as Sagar said, ignorance, that I was ignorant to not write because ನನಗೆ ತಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಭೂತ ಹೋಗ್ಕೊಂಡಿತ್ತು, ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಷನಿಸ್ಟ್ ಭೂತ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಓದೇ ಬರೆಯೋಣ, ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಬರೆಯೋಣ, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಂಬರೋಣ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವೆನ್ ಐ ಲುಕ್ಡ್ ಎಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಹೆಂಗೋ ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಟ್ರಯಲು ಆಗಿದೆ, ಹೆಂಗಾದ್ರೂ ಆಗಲಿ ನಡೀತದೆ, ದಟ್ಸ್ ಓಕೆ, ಏನು ಬ್ಯಾಗೇಜ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಮತ್ತು ಕೋವಿಡ್ ಇಯರ್ ಇತ್ತು. ದೆನ್ the second prelims and second waves was very back to back. January mains mugde, then I had again prelims in usual cycle and mains. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮತ್ತೆ prelims ಮುಗಿತು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನೋಡ್ತೀನಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೆ, ಮೇನ್ಸ್ ಬರೆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, 1 ಇಂಚು ಕೂಡ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಈ ಭೂತ ಐತಲ್ಲ, ಇವಾಗ ಭೂತ ಇದು ಪೆಣಂ ಭೂತ ಆಯಿತು. ಐ ಗೇವ್ ಅಪ್ ದಟ್ ಮೇನ್ಸ್. ಐ ಡಿಂಟ್ ಇವನ್ ಬಾದರ್ ಟು ಸ್ಟಡಿ, ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯಿತು ನನಗೆ ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಷನಿಸ್ಟ್ ಬಿಡಿ. What I thought, I was not even very close to that. ದೂರವರೆಗೂ ನಾನು ಸಂಬಂಧ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ ನನಗೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ. ಸೊ ಐ ನಿಯರ್ಲಿ ಗೇವ್ ಅಪ್, ಬಟ್ ಎಟ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ, ದ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ದಟ್ ಮೇಡ್ ಮೀ ಕಮ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಕ್ವಿಟಿಂಗ್ ಜಾಬ್, ದಟ್ ಕಿಕ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಅಗೇನ್. ಸ್ಟಿಲ್ ಐ ಚೋಸ್ ಟು ಗೋ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್. ಗಿವ್ ಅಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಓದಿ ಬರೆಯೋಣ ಅಂತ. ಬಟ್ ಟು ಕೀಪ್ my inner resilience alive, I chose to go and attempt that means despite I giving up the preparation itself. But the day I completed, it was on I think September 30th or 29th. ಗಣೇಶ ಹಬ್ಬ ಮುಗಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇನೋ ಆಗಿತ್ತು, ಮುಗೀತು, ಬಂದೆ. ಸೊ ಎವ್ರಿ ಒನ್ ವಾಸ್ ಎಂಜಾಯಿಂಗ್, ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ರು, ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಗ್ತಾಯಿದ್ರು. ಬಟ್ ನನಗೆ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಬೆಂಕಿ ಇತ್ತು. ದೆನ್ ಐ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಸೆಟ್. ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಆ ಡೇಯಿಂದ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇನ್ ಮೈ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಐ ವಾಸ್ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ಡ್, ವೆಲ್ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ಡ್. ಬಟ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಲೋ ರೈಟಿಂಗ್. ಆಲ್ದೋ ಐ ರೋಟ್ ಸಮ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಐ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್ ಹೌ ಟು ರೈಟ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್. ದೋಸ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಐ ಟಿಕ್ಡ್ ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ದೆಮ್. ಬಟ್ ದ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ವಾಸ್ ಮೈ lacuna there, which I fixed in my this attempt. So what I would like to say is, from success to failure, you need to understand and diagnose what you are missing and try to work on fixing it. So that was the change.
Great, sir. Nice. So, in my ma'am, this is probably specifically for you. That how should a aspirant identify if they're moving in the right direction? When does, as an aspirant, I feel that, okay, probably I'm in the right direction?
So the answer to this is that it's a competitive exam. It's not like your school exam or your college exam where you're getting 90 marks and it doesn't matter whether someone got more than you or not. Here it is a competitive edge over the people who are running the same race as you. If all of you run slowly, then one person who is the fastest among the slow runners will win. But if everybody is running fast, then your competition is with the fast runners. So you have to run fast. So how do you understand whether you're running fast or you're running slow, or how much to increase your speed by? That is when you write these tests, or when you write certain other mock exams. So in these mock exams and tests, you can evaluate yourself and see where you stand. Okay, in Bangalore, if I'm getting 150th rank out of 1,000 people, then all India, maybe where do I stand? Maybe I stand at 6,000 or 7,000. But if I am somewhere in 900 among the 1,000 people who are writing the exam in Bangalore, then I'm out of the race, essentially, right? So it is very important to give due importance to test series and self-evaluation. And I think this mains mentorship program also has test series. So all the people who are serious about the mains are going to start writing tests on tests on tests. What is the moral of the story that we gathered from today, from Sandeep sir's story also? The idea is to write. Each one of you, whether you're clearing the prelims or not clearing the prelims, from today you are going to write one answer minimum. First 3 days, read 5 answers of toppers. You can read 5 answers. No, reading is not a problem for us. Writing only is a problem, right? So read 5 answers, write 1 answer. First 3 days, write 1 answer. Next 3 days, 4th to 6th day, read 4 answers, write 2 answers. Then 7th to 9th day, write 3 answers, read 3 answers. Like this, go on increasing the number of answers that you're writing, and finally start giving the tests. So in these test series, you will understand where you stand. And only when you start evaluating yourself comparatively with the others, will you be able to understand if you're going in the right direction or you're going in the wrong direction.
So, Kiran sir, if you want to add something.
Right. Sir, I generally, so Mano sir is referring to a matrix that I generally tell all the aspirants. So in mains, for example, in GS1, you can split GS1 into 6 components. What are the 6 components? Anyone quickly? First, syllabus has to be by heart. If I wake you up at 2 a.m. in the night and ask you in which GS paper disaster management is there, in which GS paper society is there, in which GS paper social issues are there, you should be able to tell. First, learn to keep the syllabus by heart. Syllabus has to be with you at all times. In syllabus, it gives you those pointers, it gives you those keywords. So whenever you read something, you know where your mind should start, activating the cells and learning more about a certain topic, right? Syllabus is very important. Who will tell me what all is there in GS1? Yes. Okay. Generally, I tell them to split it into 6 components. I would prefer that each one of you write this down, even if it is not useful for you, because when you write the mains, you will definitely feel what Chinmay told us that day was useful for me. Okay. 6. So I will split GS1 into 6, right? Geography, society, world history, art and culture, ancient medieval as 1, right? Post-independence and modern as 1, right? So 6 components are there. Each of these 6 components, you will pick out 1 component. So sorry, I'm going a little beyond your question in this. Yeah, so you will pick out 1 component. For example, geography. I'll pick out geography. For geography, I will make 5 columns. When I'm studying for the mains, this will act like a checklist for me to prepare. So first column will have what? Your static sources. Whatever you have, your coaching institution sources or some standard book sources. First will be that. What is your second component? Last 10 years PYQs of geography. All the model answers for that should be written. Should be written and kept in a way that you just have to keep seeing before the exam. Adakinta jasti enu madangilla, right? What is your third component? Test series that you will be writing for that particular subject, right? Fourth will be value addition, your data, your codes, your statistics, all that is your fourth component, right? Fifth component? No. Yeah, toppers copy. Fifth is the toppers copy. Not all toppers will excel at all subjects. So to identify, for example, PSIR, you identify Kiran sir's toppers, the answer sheets. You find his topper copies and read those. Then there is somebody else, Sandeep Badat for anthropology. Read him. So you make a list of the toppers copies for the particular subjects and read those toppers copies. Half your work is done when you see, visualize. The optics play a huge role in terms of your preparation. So when you are going on seeing these toppers copies, little bit at least you will try to replicate that in your papers. Not fully, at least 5%, 10%. that 5%, 10% will go a long way. So do this for all your main subjects, and I think you will have a pure checklist for mains.
Thank you, ma'am. So the idea of how do you identify in the right direction, when you do all these right things, definitely your direction will fall in the right place. So probably, Kiran sir, you can answer this question of what should aspirants expect from a mentor and what should they not expect from a mentor?
What should they not expect? I think that first answer. Don't expect your mentor to do all the hard work. He can only guide you. Like, he can ask you to read this material or prepare this chart, compile this, compile that, or he will tell you how to make the how to read your newspaper, take out points from that, how to summarize this, how to map a certain content across papers. That is what he'll tell you. But don't expect him to do all this for you. I think especially mentor's role is very significant yet limited at the same time. So with respect to what they should expect, I feel that they should go in, they're like two horses of a cart. They should go parallel. If my mentor is telling me something to do and I have to put my same energy and dedication to actually follow it, else it will be a huge mismatch and I'll not be able to follow him. So that is one role. And mentor should also be very strictly, he has to tell what is the pros and cons in the individuals or the candidates' preparation. If straight away, I think most students themselves are very not, I feel they're resistant or reluctant to understand. I feel every student as a whole will know his pros and cons or what he's doing not good or what is doing right. But the thing is, a mentor should be very strict in evaluating and strictly telling him that this is something that is not working. I think clear out and outrightly it has to be pointed out, because the sooner that realization happens, that is when the changes will happen. I don't want the mentor to work out anything. So that is when things will start changing. So there has to be an absolute honesty between both. It has to be both sides.
Great. So you have summarized it very well. With that question, we'll go to the mentor himself, somebody who's been very well acknowledged for his mentorship. Now, how can, while they depend on mentorship, how can aspirants avoid information overload and resource accumulation? What do you tell to those students who come with, sir, I've done all this, but still nothing happened?
Coming to information overload and material accumulation, the first thing is, before purchasing or before downloading or before making any notes,
Probably
first thing,
also before going to ChatGPT now.
Yeah, and nowadays the new revolution is in UPSC preparation is ChatGPT. So if you give the question, it will give you model answer. So that depends on which version you are using. So if you have a paid version, you will get very good answer. If you have free version, you will get very generic answer, because I have used it very well. I know how to use it. So coming back to information accumulation and material accumulation, first thing is syllabus. You should go through syllabus. As Chinmay ma'am's told, you should be thorough with the syllabus of all the 4 GS paper and 2 of your optional paper. So if you know the syllabus, then you will know what to read and what not to read. Then second thing is to go through previous year question, be it prelims or mains. The themes will be recurring. Only the pattern of asking question will be different. This year, the paper, prelims paper, it is lengthy and the questions patterns are different. But when you see the topics, if you go through PYQ, the same themes were reflected, but pattern of asking is different and paper is bit lengthy. And many of the students who are giving first time, after going through the questions, they become nervous and they are able to read hardly 50 to 60 questions. So that should not happen. So PYQs play an important role in referring materials or reading what not to read. Then the third one is to, instead of becoming collector of materials, so instead of, what is this? You came here to become district collector. So rather you ended up becoming collector of materials, right? That never should happen. So apart from that, you should be in regular touch with your mentors or faculty. So there will be different authors for different books. Which one to read? That is the dilemma. And you will end up purchasing both. And you will start to do research on how they have written rather than what you should prepare for exam. So that should never happen. You should have always you should ನಿಮ್ಮಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ನೀವೇ ಅಲರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತಿರ್ಬೇಕು. ನಾನು ಬಂದಿರೋ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ ಏನು, ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಟಾಪ್ ರ್ಯಾಂಕಲ್ಲಿ ಬರಬೇಕು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅದನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬೇರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್. ಸೊ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್.
Great, sir. So while we take that, probably this question is to both Sandeep and Manoj who joined us on stage now. Yeah, please.
Actually, before this math, before my last 3 attempts, I was a PDF collector as well, for your knowledge. And at some point, everyone promoted from that phase, okay? But since we have seen that job, we are asking you not to do that. So that is where your mentor will come, okay?
The experience is a collection of mistakes. So we've gone through all those stages.
One more thing, especially about the DRONA initiative, the toppers will be available. So make sure you utilize them to understand their thought process, not for getting some content from them. What is that thought process? If you ask a question, what is running in his mind, in his or her mind? Don't come to toppers for chit chat. Sir, my life is like that. This is, I came by bike today. You have limited time. Make best utilization of that. Most important, I am being very brutal here. Leave your ego outside the room when you enter the hall. Because when I meet some mentees, when students, if I say like, please do this, they are like, no sir, I'm already doing that. Okay, then please, then in this aspect, please do this. No sir, I'm already doing that. I already completed it. Then if you know everything, why are you coming to us? Why are you wasting your time and why are you wasting our time? Right? So leave your ego outside, because not from just toppers, from your friends, from your mentors, there is something you can learn. Don't just come just to show off what you know. Don't expect mentors to spoon feed you everything. What happened was that, and this is completely innocent, it's fine. So like somebody came to me and asked me for, sir, please for the next 1 month, give me daily schedule. I only didn't use any schedules. And you are asking me to make a schedule for you. Because like, see, every person has a different pace. Every person has a different understanding ability. Let's say I asked you to complete polity by 15 days. You may take more than that. Then you will be in rush of mind. That just to complete that subject, you will study it, not to understand it. So make your schedule on your own. Try to think on your own. But learn from the best. Learn what you can learn from others. That's it. Thank you.
Sorry, sir, Prashant sir, we will not allow you to ask next question. ಹೆಂಗೆ ಮನೋಜ್ ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ ಗುರುವಿನ ಗುಲಾಮನಾಗೋ ತನಕ ದೊರೆದಣ್ಣ ಮುಕುತಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಗುರು ಅಂದರೆ ನಾವಲ್ಲ, ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ವಿಚ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ಯು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಇನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಪ್ರಿಪ್ರೇಷನ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಗುರು. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸು who are able to explain you something, the toppers copies from where you can learn something, the strategy sessions YouTube alli nododu where you can learn something, and mentors where you can get something. So you have to come with that humility. Only then our mind starts to receive. Illandre munde we are sitting face to face, but mentally there is a iron sheet. So ಆ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಏನೇ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು ಹಂಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತದೆ, ಹಿಂಗೆ ರಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋಗ್ತದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಇಳಿಯಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಬಿ ಮೈಂಡ್ಫುಲ್ ದಟ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಟು ಜಡ್ಜ್ ಯು, ಆರ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಟು ನೀವು ಹಂಗೆ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋಕ್ಕೇನಿಲ್ಲ. ವಿ ಆರ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಟು ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಯು ಔಟ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ವಿ ಫೆಲ್ಟ್ ದ ನೀಡ್ ವೆನ್ ವಿ ವರ್ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರಿಂಗ್. ನಾವು ಯಾವಾಗ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಆಗ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ವಿ ವರ್ ಫೀಲಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ನೀಡ್ ದಟ್ ಸಮ್ ಒನ್ ಶುಡ್ ಟೆಲ್ ದಟ್ ನೋಡಪ್ಪ ಇದು ಹಿಂಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಹಿಂಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. So we thought that when we felt that need, why not we, when having learned that, share it with the upcoming generation. So that was the only thing, only purpose, that all of us, somehow joined together and trying to bring this up as a Drona. Drona again is your guru. So that is the idea behind keeping the name.
Sorry, sir. Just adding an insight into how this entire setup of the entire mentorship program started was when we were discussing with us, sir, and also among ourselves, that today in this beautiful digital era, just few clicks away, you will get all coaching institution study material free of cost, various mediums, you and I.
Even video classes.
Yes. Right. So in this digital era, what is the key differentiator which helps an aspirant gain success or come onto the list? That's what we were discussing. So when we were discussing, we realized that a person who gives certain hand holding or a person who helps you evade certain mistakes is the key differentiator between a person who's successful or not successful. Sometimes it might be an external person, sometimes it is through your own introspection. For me, it was my mentor, right? So if we are able to provide this platform, like for example, this is done in various places, but not in Bangalore. So if we are able to provide you a platform where all of you guys are at different stages or at different levels of preparation, right? My level of preparation might be very different from sir's level of preparation, right? So when you come to us individually with your own level of preparation and come and tell us that this is my level of preparation, where I want to be, can you help me reach from point A to point B? We will help you out, right? So in this era where coaching material is easily available to us, the key differentiator is mentorship. A key differentiator is guidance, personalized guidance, customized guidance based on your level of preparation.
So Madam ಹೇಳಿದಂಗೆ, Madam took mentorship and Madam ಹೇಳಿದಂಗೆ, I was totally on my own. Okay, you can be on your own, but ನನಗೆ 8 ವರ್ಷ ಆಯಿತು. That is the difference. ನನಗೆ ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ when I was writing, if I had that part, 4 ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಬರೆಯೋ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ ನನಗೆ. So that is the difference that it could create. Okay, thing is I am just lucky that ನಾನು introspect ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಕೂಡ I found the right direction. But how many of you think that by being on your own you will be getting that right direction? ಏನಾದರೂ ನಾನು ರಾಂಗ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂತ ನನ್ನ ತಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕೂತಿದ್ರೆ, then I would have been out of this. So that is what the difference makes about guidance. Okay.
So enough emphasis has been placed on the importance of mentorship, and each one of them have given a beautiful idea in terms of mentorship. The two important questions probably without which we shouldn't close this session, sir. One question which probably some of you can take up, and probably last question which all of you can give one word as such. This question is, how do you manage self-doubt during preparation? Probably Manoj or Kiran or Nagar or anybody. How do you manage self-doubt during preparation?
Sir, actually, I had no self-doubt actually. Because self-doubt ಅಂತೂ ಇಲ್ಲ, ignorance ಇತ್ತು. CSAT ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. Self-doubt ಅಂತೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. In the year 2019, I had started to become an IAS officer to clear this exam. ಸೊ ಅದೇ ನಾನು ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ವಿಧಾನಸೌಧದಲ್ಲಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅಥವಾ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ PS ಆಗಬೇಕು ಕೂಡ ಅದೇ ಝೀಲಿತ್ತು. ಸೊ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಐ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಅಂಡ್ ಐ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ಡ್. ಸೊ ದೆರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಸ್ಕೋಪ್ ಫಾರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಡೌಟ್ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಯು ಎಂಟರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್. ಸೊ ಐದರ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಫೈಟ್, ಐದರ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಡೈ. ದಟ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್. ಒಂದೇ ಇತ್ತು, ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಮುಗಿಬೇಕು. ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಮುಗಿಯೋವರೆಗೂ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬೇರೆದು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು. ಸೊ ನಂದು ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಮುಗಿಯೋಷ್ಟೊಳಗಡೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಯಿತು ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
So that's a mindset that Sagar sir is picking up. So many times we may feel in ನನ್ನ ಕೈಲಿ ಆಗತ್ತಾ, is it really possible? You think then that's not the right mindset probably.
The same, marna hai to dinosaur ko hi maro. That is like, means there is a concept called as visual quantification. Just sit down for the next 3 days, give 12 hours of dedicated efforts, 10 to 12. Take 10 hours of dedicated efforts. Write it down. 11 to 12, I have studied this. 12. After 3 days, your self-doubt will run away. Because when you see progress, you will realize that you are on the right track. And there is a beautiful quote. We often overestimate what we can do in 1 day, and we often underestimate what we can do in 1 year. We study for 1 day and we expect ourselves to be the master of that subject. But we have to realize that it's a process. It will take time. Understand that you are here for a genuine reason. You are going to be an IAS, IPS officer because you have faced certain problems in your life. You have seen certain social levels in your life and you don't want others to go through it. You have the genuine intention. You are deserving for becoming an IAS, IPS officer. Then all you need to do is complement that with your hard work. That's where your self-doubt stops and that's where your confidence will start rising.
Yes, ಏನಪ್ಪ ಇವರು ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಡೌಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಲೈಕ್ ನಾವು ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಡೌಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಪಾಸಿಂಗ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಡೌಟ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ ಬಿಡಿ ಇವರಿಗೆ ಅಂತ, ರೈಟ್? ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ವಿ ವರ್ ದೇರ್ ಒನ್ಸ್. ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಡೌಟ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಕ್ವೈಟ್ ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಎಟ್ ಒನ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಆರ್ ಸಮ್ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ ಇಲ್ಲೋ ಅಂತ, ಲೈಕ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ವೆರಿ ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್, ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಹಾರ್ಮ್. ಬಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಏನು ಅಂದರೆ ಯು ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಬಿಲೀವ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಸೈಕಲಾಜಿಕಲಿ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಯುವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. Preparation henge, how part I am trying to tell, how part of eliminating your self-doubt, killing your self-doubt. Idikke you can start reading few biographies, because all those mahapurusharu ya bhoomi mele odadidaralla ide ಮಾಂಸ ಖಂಡದಿಂದ ಆಗದವರು, ಇದೇ ಅನ್ನ ಗಾಳಿ ನೀರು ಕುಡಿದು ಬೆಳೆದವರು. They are nothing new who are ordained by God. No magic, no miracles. Only with their sheer hard work, their vision and their belief in what they want to do took them there. So I'll try to list out few things. One, try to read few biographies. ಅಂಬೇಡ್ಕರ್ ಜೀವನ ಓದಿ ಸಾಕು, ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಡೌಟು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಲೈಟ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಥಿಂಗ್, ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸಿಂಗ್ ಸಮ್ ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ 20 minutes in meditation and yoga. ಯೋಗ ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ಕಾಲ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಕಾಲ ಕೆಳಗಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಯೋಗ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಟ್ರೈಂಗ್ ಟು ಫೈಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಪೀಸ್. 20 ನಿಮಿಷ. ಸೊ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 20 ನಿಮಿಷ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ತೆಗೆದಂಗೆ ಕೂತಿದ್ದಾರೆ? ಅವಾಗಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಕೂತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಾವೇ 15 ನಿಮಿಷಕ್ಕೆ ಫೋನ್ ತೆಗಿತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ. ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ಅ ಸಿಟ್ ಫಾರ್ 40 minutes ವಿತೌಟ್ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟೆಡ್, ಹೌ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ನಮಗೇನಾದರೂ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇನ್ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ ತಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಉಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಶೇಕ್ ಅಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಥಿಂಗ್, ಮೆಡಿಟೇಷನ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಥಿಂಗ್, ಡೈಲಿ ರೀಇನ್ಫೋರ್ಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಹುಟ್ಟಿರೋದೇ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಂತ್. ಸೊ ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಆಫ್ ಯು ಥಿಂಕ್, ಸರಿ ಇವಾಗ ಮನೇಲಿ ಪೆಟ್ಟ ಯಾರಾದ್ರು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂತೀರಾ? ಏನಂತಾರದು, ಯಾವುದದು ಡಾಗ್ ಫೇಮಸ್ ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ಲ ನಿಂಗೆ, ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀಯಲ್ಲ, ಆರ್ಕಿಟಿಕ್, ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ರಡಾರ್. Okay, Labrador gets the best food, the pedigree. Banerghata hogidre the lion gets 2-3 kgs meat every day. Lion ಆಗ್ತೀರಾ? Or you want to be that poor human being? Obviously, poor human being. So being human is a strength. So first believe that. These things, if you are daily saying to yourself, and try to show gratitude. Fourth thing is gratitude. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಓಡಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತೀರ, ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಕ್ವೈಟ್ ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಯಾವತ್ತಾದರೂ ಒಂದು ಗಿಡದ ಮುಂದೆ ನಿಂತು ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಗಿಡ ಅಳೋದನ್ನು? ನೋಡಪ್ಪ, ನನಗೆ ಯಾರು ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನನಗೆ SPG ಬೇಕೀಗ. ನೋಡಪ್ಪ, ನನಗೆ ಯಾರು ನೀರು ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನನಗೆ ಏನಂತಾರಲ್ಲ ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ ಸ್ಕೀಮ್ ಬೇಕೀಗ. ನೋಡಪ್ಪ, ನನಗೆ ಕೇಳೋರಿಲ್ಲ, ಇಮೋಷ್ನಲ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ನನಗೆ, So why should I stand here? ಅದು ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡು it will fight and grow for itself, and then it will give all compassion to others. Compassion by what? ಹಣ್ಣು ಕೊಡ್ತದೆ, ನೆರಳು ಕೊಡ್ತದೆ, ಗಾಳಿ. So have you ever thought, so ನಮ್ಗೆ ರೀಸನ್ ಇರಬಾರ್ದು for not being happy or not being gratitude, ಅಥವಾ not get those insecurities? Yes, insecurities only because we are imagining it. Whenever you feel that you are lacking something, just imagine these two things: that lion in the cage and that tree standing there. You are situated better both of them, in both of them. Okay, you'll be getting motivated by that I am not that, and you will get inspired by this tree that I should try to become that. So that's how you need to kill your disbelief. Vivekananda book ಓದ್ಬೋದು. That's an added suggestion. So that's it.
Nice, sir. Very, very nicely put forward. We'll move to the last question for the day. I'll start with Manjunath sir, and probably each one of you in the same order can answer this. What is that one advice you would want to give to aspirants who feel they're stuck despite a lot of hard work? I'm doing everything possible, but I'm stuck. What would one advice you want to give?
So despite hard work, if you are stuck, then you might be in the wrong direction. So smart approach is also important to clear UPSC. So if you are doing hard work, you should consult or you should sit to your mentors or faculty, discuss with them. So they will reorient your direction, guide you, they will help you to achieve.
Nice, brilliant. Okay, sir. One advice.
ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಡೌಟ್ನ ರಿಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಮೆಂಟಲಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಆಗಿ. ಸೊ ಏನೇ ಆಗಲಿ ಈ ಪಾತಲ್ಲಿ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸರ್ವೈವ್ ಅಂತ. ನಾಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್, ಯು ಪಿ ಎಸ್ ಸಿನೆಲ್ಲ ಏನು ಬೇಕಾದರೂ ನಾನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಲರ್ನ್ಡ್ ಸೋ ಮೆನಿ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಜರ್ನಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಥ್ರೂ ಔಟ್ ಮೈ ಲೈಫ್. ಸೊ ಈ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಡೌಟ್ನ ರಿಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮೆಂಟಲಿ ವೆನ್ ಯು ಬಿಕೇಮ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್, ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್.
In my ma'am.
So, for somebody who feels stuck as a medical issue, to understand a medical issue of a person, what do? Diagnosis. They'll ask you what are the symptoms. What does enumerating the symptoms mean? You're evaluating yourself. Find out what is it that is causing the problems. And obviously you have mentors. If you don't have mentors, then find out what is it that is holding you back. And if whatever it is, it can be overcome. Right? So even if you're feeling stuck, find out what is it that is making you feel stuck and what is it that is holding you from progression, and then try to move forward with a scientific approach. UPSC is a very scientific approach. You try to increase 1 mark in every answer, 80 marks, you're ahead of everyone, right? So adopt a scientific approach towards this exam.
Wonderful, wonderful.
We suffer more in imagination than in realities. Be told. Stuck, we feel demotivated. The question was on self-doubt. I think yes, these are true. I'm not just going to take away and say you are just imagining these things. No, I'm not a psychiatrist. But the thing is, depression does not hit a moving object. What I mean to say is depression hit a moving object. As long as you're moving forward, it might be small little steps, but as long as it is moving forward, that is enough. You are still better than those who did not try, have the courage to even get up from their bed and make the decision. You've made the decision to take up one of the most difficult exams. Then of course you are bound to fail here, but made that courage to come here, give an attempt, even after failures, chase your dreams. I think it takes a lot of courage. So already you are much better than most of others who have not. My suggestion is that you have to have confidence in yourself, in your preparation, but at times you really don't know what is going to happen, or you're not making any progress. I think you have to jot down the things clearly. What are your strengths, what are your weaknesses? Be very outrightly clear and be very honest in your diagnosing your own preparation. I think that is one important test, I will say. Be very honest about your own preparation. And I feel was one thing that was talked about. That is, to extend a bit on that. Students often, especially in the first few attempts, they live in a bubble. They feel that whatever they are doing is the right thing. That's the only way of preparation, and quite often underestimate, not just about their own, but often underestimate other people's preparation. And I don't understand that. I think that should be something you should avoid. You can always learn and improve from others. This is something that you should understand and inculcate in your preparation. The moment you see that, okay, others are also doing their own bit in their own direction, they're good at certain things, try to imbibe that. Not that you can be jack of all the trades. You will be good at certain things. Your friend might be good at certain things, and then there is another person. I think it is important and also have a healthy competition and inculcate those good things. Come out of that bubble that whatever I am doing, I am the best, or I know what is the best. So if you certainly come out of that mindset, I think you will start making progress.
Depression
That's
doesn't
more-
hit a moving object. Moving line to say.
I would like to add one thing that, like Kiran said, that you need to keep moving. Charato charati, bhagasha charayavati, charayavati, charayavati. Fortune favors the brave. ಭಾಗ್ಯ ಯಾರ ಜೊತೆ ಇರ್ತದಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾರು ಕಲಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಕೀಪ್ ಟೇಕಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್. That's how you need to keep yourself stay put in this journey.
ನಡೆದಷ್ಟು ದಾರಿ ಪಡೆದಷ್ಟು ಭಾಗ್ಯ. That's the idea, sir. One advice.
Think beyond academics, because UPSC is half about your preparation and half about your personality. So try to work on your personality, like love yourself in the sense, think where can I improve today? If I don't know English, what can I do to learn English? And if I don't know that, like what can I learn from a person sitting next to me? When you observe people, there is something that you can learn every day. One of the best things, especially during UPSC preparation, if you don't waste time to do, is to watch real life based movies as well as biography based movies. Just watch 10 good movies, 10 biography based movies. You will realize your perspective is getting better. Because most of you thought after watching 12th fail, if this person, despite all his struggles, can do, I can also do. You gained something positive energy, right? Such biographical movies, such real life based movies give us that positive energy. So always try to attract positive energy and give positive energy to others. So yeah, that's it.
Yes, ma'am.
One practical answer to this question. If you're feeling stuck now, irrespective of, or I'm talking about everybody present here, irrespective of you feeling stuck or not stuck, what is one takeaway from today's session that you're going to do? And we are in June, so I'm giving you a hint. What are you going to do today or today onwards? Huh? All of you will go home and write one answer, and you will read 5 answers or 4 answers. Okay, so only if you start writing today, if your hand starts moving today, you will feel less stuck, whether you're feeling stuck or not feeling stuck. Okay,
So you have the prescription also given. A lawyer gives a prescription, talks to you about what you should do starting today. Brilliant session that we have had. Every question, every answer has had a personalized approach, personalized thought process that has gone beyond. Million thanks to each and every one of you to on the stage. You have taken all effort and everything has come directly from the heart. We've heard multiple toppers, multiple achievers speaking. Probably one of the best sessions that I have anchored through, because this can reach to each and every one of you, guide through your path. Thank you so much. A big round of applause. That speaks volumes of their courage to say. Very quickly summarizing, as part of the DRONA initiative, there are few things that are coming up which are specialized, few things that are coming up which are general and open to everybody. As part of an academy called India4IAS, here, with respect to those who are targeting 2026 mains, we have 2 specific programs. One is Mains Habit Daily and Mains Habit Weekly. In the daily program, it's a daily 1-hour program which Sagar was continuously speaking about. Every day morning 7 to 8, we give you 7 to 8 questions, 1 hour. 6 to 7, 8 questions every day. So that is divided over about 50 days. This time it is 47. Later 2 full length tests. This is on a daily program to build an answer writing objective. This is those who are targeting 26. Weekly program, all 3 hours papers specific so that you can take it forward. Full 3 hours practiced answer writing that happens on Saturdays and Sundays. You can be part of one, you can be part of both. This specifically for those who are writing mains this time. If some of you who are targeting 27 and still want to take this program up, open, but that is something that you'll have to work at a certain rush. This is from a test series perspective as such. Apart from that, 2 specific programs that 2 of our achievers here will be anchoring through. One is the Anthro X program that Sandeep sir, he will speak about that. And the other one is Mains with Magnus program that Manoj sir will be speaking about. Now, very briefly summarizing before I hand it over to them so that they can very briefly tell you about what is the initiative. When it comes to optionals again, if you watch here, there is a diversity. Manoj sir comes up with public administration, Sandeep comes up with anthropology, Kiran sir comes up with PSIR, Chinmay ma'am comes up with law, and Sagar comes up with Kannada literature. So optional, which optional, only this optional, again, there is no specific dimension. Each one of them come here, different optional, you understand that there is diversity. That simply means each and every one of you can do. So specific to anthropology optional, Anthro X is a program that Sandeep sir is anchoring. So in very few words, if you can summarize what is the idea and what is that you're going forward so that this can be spoken up to the.
So Anthrox is the name I chose because X, for that X factor, which I intended to bring in my preparation. So in this Anthrox program, I'll try to share that X factor and bring your own unique X factor, because everyone has to excel uniquely with their own X factor. That's how I'll be. That's why I'll be mentoring through this program. And in this, my role would be to guide you what to study, what not to study, and how to write like a ranker. And more importantly, I'll make sure that like in this first panel discussion, they were discussing about the peer group. I'll make sure you will get that peer-to-peer group and support where you will do that discussions and enrich each other. So these are the 5 elements that I'll be trying to share with you guys over next 2.5 months for those who are writing mains 2026 and over next until next mains. By 2028 August for those who are appearing for 2027. Some of you might think that that's quite natural. But I'll be taking very few inputs, intakes. It's only 30 that I have limited, that's why. So I'll be training and handholding them until they excel or until they are ready to excel in their optional. So that will be through online after I join my training. So I hope a lot of the doubts have been addressed, because these are the common doubts that have been coming across after I started this or announced this program. So let's try to maximize anthropology, and hope I'll also learn lot of anthropology from you, because as I say, neither I am perfectionist nor the UPSC demands a perfectionist. What I can do is I'll try to share what worked and what works, because it is based on a lot of study from the toppers copies that we analyzed across the years. That's how we'll be deriving the formula of ranker. So that's all about the programs.
Manoj sir will be anchoring a specific program called Mains with Magnus, and this will be interactive specific directed program. So about the program, sir.
Yeah, first of all, I want to thank all the toppers for the DRONA initiative, because you have to realize that one of the biggest reasons for Karnataka's poor performance, I will call it poor performance, is the lack of proper mentorship So that is what we were discussing. We are discussing it for like last 1 and 2 months. Like even before results, we were discussing that. And that's why we came here. And thanks to Srinivas sir as well for providing us the platform. Now, first of all, I want to clear some misunderstanding. That is you call it innocence or you call it arrogance. So many students say that, sir, let me clear one prelims. I can manage mains. But you have to realize that mains is the toughest part than the prelims. Because in mains, everyone is fighting for the half marks. So understanding the thought process, what is this particular question? What is it expecting from us? We think that we complete a theory book for ethics and we are done. But ethics is more about your perspectives, your personality, and how you analyze the question. And what is your USP? What are you thinking different? How many of you know what Dhamma Gosha and Perigosha is? Dhamma Gosha, Perigosha. You have learnt in history. And how beautifully can you integrate it in war ethics? See, that is integration, that is analysis. So this is where I try to help. So I have given 3 mains, and whatever I have learnt, I will try to share with you. And one of the major things all of us are trying to fight is the gatekeeping of knowledge. What is gatekeeping? The knowledge that is limited between few certain people. So when we give you how to think, what to think for ethics or any other subject, then you would be able to handle that subject with confidence. You have the clarity. So that would help you fetch that 10, 20, 30 marks extra. So that is what I am trying to address. Now, from tomorrow, we are starting ethics classes. If you are interested, please join. Thank you.
Right. So that's 2 specific programs, Anthrox and Mains Magnus, that is Mains with Magnus, that is coming up. For those all of you who are targeting 2027, we have 2 specific programs. One is Super 60 that will start after mains. The other one is Raw that will be starting immediately after the results. This is for all those who are not clearing or not attempting this year's mains but targeting 2027. These are all test series based mentorship programs. Tests will be conducted, evaluated, mentorship will be given. Toppers here, rankers here will be part of the mentorship thoroughly. All these mentorship slots need to be pre-booked. We have a time limitation of 20 minutes for the mentorship slot, and anything that you have to discuss, you have to pre-book your slot and come and take. So more details specific to Raw, specific to Sankalp and Super 60 will be given to you. Please keep watching our Telegram channel and also our YouTube channel. You'll be finding more information there. We'll also share information through. Meanwhile, with respect to the larger initiative of DRONA, I would now request Kiran sir to address all of you on behalf of all the achievers, the idea and intent behind the perspective of DRONA, because having been in this field from last 10-15 years, having seen the multiple ideas, every achiever comes with a certain thought. But to come together as a platform, to come together as such, at India4IAS, we are very proud to host all of you. And what brings all of you together, what is the intent and objective? If you can come forward, the stage is yours, sir. One question and we'll start.
ಸರ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಂಥ್ರೋಪಾಲಜಿ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಅಡ್ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಆಮೇಲೆ PSR ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಆಪ್ಷನಲಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿರೋ ಟಾಪರ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ಐ ಡಿಡ್ ಮಾಸ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ಸ್. I went to some of the other coaching centers in Bangalore. I want to take optional economics as a optional because I'm a BA graduation gold medalist, MA graduation gold medalist from Bangalore University. So I am confident that I can do it. But most of the people misguided me in such a way that you cannot clear in economics because economics is tough and technical subject. So let it be whatever. Even everywhere I searched in Bangalore. ನನಗೆಲ್ಲೂ ಸಿಗಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಂದರೆ ಮೆಂಟರ್ಸ್ ಆಗಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಆಗಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಯಾರಾದ್ರು ಗೈಡ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೂ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಅದರ್ ದೆನ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ದೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ತಗೋ ಅಂತಂದು. ಬಟ್ ನನಗೇನಂದರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂದ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಇವಾಗ ಸಪೋಸ್ ನಾನು ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ ಸ್ಕ್ರಾಚಿಂದ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಬಿಗಿನಿಂಗಿಂದ. ಬಟ್ ನಾನು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಕಲ್ತಿರೋನು. ಸೊ ಆ ಥರ ಇವಾಗ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಲಾ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದರು, ಲಾ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ತೊಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದರು. ಆ ಥರ ಮೆನಿ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಸರ್. ಸಪೋಸ್ ಇವಾಗ ನನ್ನ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರು ಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ತೊಗೋಬೇಕಂತ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಬಟ್ ಏನಂತಾರೆ ಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ ಬದಲಿ ಎಂಥ್ರೋಪಾಲಜಿ ತಗೋ ಅಥವಾ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ತಗೋ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಅಂಥ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ಗೆ ನೀವೇನು ಹೇಳೋಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಮತ್ತು ಒಂದು ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್, ಸರ್ ಹೇಳಿದರು ಮುಂಚೆ ನಾವು ಡೆಲ್ಲಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗಬೇಕಿತ್ತು ಕೋಚಿಂಗ್ ತೊಗೊಳಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತಂದು. ಐ ಪರ್ಸ್ನಲಿ ಫೆಲ್ಟ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್, ಅಂದರೆ ನಾನು ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಗೆ ಭಾಳ ಗೈಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಆಫ್ ಗೈಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಇವನ್ ನೋ ಒನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಡೇ ಟು ಟೇಕ್ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಳೂರ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್, ಅಂಡ್ ಐ ಸಾ ಮೆನಿ ಪೀಪಲ್. ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಡೆಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ. ಇವಾಗ ನಾನು 2 ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಕ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಡೆಲ್ಲಿಯಲ್ಲಿ.
Largely, it's about taking an unconventional optional and how do you go about. Probably Chinmay ma'am, you can answer that specifically. How do you take that? And to address the idea specifically, optional orientation ಮಾಡಿ, we want to take an unconventional option. ಅಥವಾ ಜನರಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ತಗೊಂಡೇ ಇರೋಂಥ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂತೀವಿ ಅಂದಾಗ ವಿಲ್ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಯು. ಜನರಲಿ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋ ಹಾಗೆ ಒಂದು 25ಕ್ಕೂ ಮೀರಿ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲಕ್ಕೂ ಕೂಡ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಕೋಚಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಸಿಗಲ್ಲ. ಆ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಕೋನದಿಂದ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಆ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ರೀಚ್ ಔಟ್ ಟು ದೋಸ್. ಆ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಯಾರು ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ನಿಮಗೆ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್ ತರಿಸ್ಕೊಡೋದಾಗ್ಲಿ, ಗೈಡೆನ್ಸ್ ತರಿಸ್ಕೊಡೋದಾಗ್ಲಿ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಈಗ ನೀವು MA ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ಸ್ ಯಾರಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅಲ್ಟಿಮೇಟ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್ ಇವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅವರೇನೆ. ಸೊ ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಇಯರ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್ ಬೇಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನೀವು ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ಬರೆದಾಗ ಆ ರೀತಿ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ಸ್ ಥ್ರೂ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ಇವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಕೊಟ್ಟು ನಿಮಗೊಂದು ಪರ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಸಿಗೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಪ್ರೊಫೆಷನಲ್ ಗೈಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕೋಚಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗಿರೋದು ಕೆಲವು ಫೇಮಸ್ ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಅಂತ ಮಾತ್ರ. ಆ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಕೋಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಇದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಯಾರೇ ಒಬ್ರು ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಅನ್ಕನ್ವೆನ್ಷನಲ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ನಾನು ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಆ ಕಾರಣದಿಂದ ತಗೊಂತೀನಿ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸಿಗ್ಬೇಕಾದಂತ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ನ ಕೊಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಬಟ್ ಸ್ಟಿಲ್ ಟೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಔಟ್ law as an unconventional option, what was that initial thought? Very quickly.
Yes, sir, from like this time from Karnataka for mains, only 4 people wrote law. 7 people I think wrote economics because I was in the same room as them. I think 7 people, sir. It was yaru bariyode illa anta enilla. If you are very inclined towards it, there are 2-3 things that are non-negotiable that you have to do. One is you have to talk to the toppers who have taken economics. Like you can look up Madam Anchika Jain, she's IPS, and there are 3-4 other toppers whom I can't recollect the names as of now. You have a one-to-one conversation with them and take their opinion on this. Second thing is see what is the highest marks. So there is certain level of pragmatism also that you have to adopt in this exam. What did I tell you? UPSC, you have to have a scientific approach. What is the scientific approach? As an economist yourself, you should see the values, you should see the numbers, you should see how much people are generally scoring, and based on that you see that whether it is conducive for you or not. So these 2-3 things are non-negotiable. I think it's not a bad choice to take an unconventional optional, but at the end of the day, it should something that serves the purpose of the exam also. Like certain level of pragmatism is also needed.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Yes. Over to Kiran, sir.
Okay, it's been a very long session as well, but we conclude next. So the idea of DRONA, Rise with Rankers, it's a very unique, completely breath of fresh air, I would say. And also at the same time, I'd be very happy with the kind of engagement we got. Yes, definitely very happy with. But I have to say, this idea, this initiative was born out of a crisis. It was born out of a sheer crisis. What was the crisis? That we see 26 toppers coming out of Karnataka, and if it's a very good number, but let's be honest, it has actually dipped, and it has dipped a while, quite. While neighboring states like Kerala has produced 49 and 62, and Kerala 50, and Karnataka has produced 26. So let's leave out the northern states, and I think they're way ahead, just like the delimitation. They're being represented more. So this idea of DRONA was actually, as idea, it is born out of a crisis, and this is what we've identified. when 26 came out, I think when we met it, the felicitation program at India4IAS, that is when I feel the genesis of this idea goes back. So the intent behind is that, yes, should we be happy with just 22, 26 ranks? We got our ranks after years of struggle, and we could have just easily moved out of this, like without pointing out any other topper, like the other previous toppers. I don't see. I have prepared. I have been in Chandra layout for the last 4-5 years. I have not seen any topper investing their time and energy once the rank list is out. Let's be honest. And let alone, let's say 1 or 2, okay, accepted. You don't see, I don't think so. You will have 6 or 7 toppers coming together and give back to the ecosystem that they have received so much. So this is a very unique, and this initiative is made with a lot of heart, lot of love, and lot of, as I said, it is a idea born out of a crisis, and where we feel that at least we could contribute in some way, some meaningful way, and change the ecosystem here. Manoj used the word gatekeepers of knowledge. And I think that is the kind of ecosystem, sadly, that Bengaluru mains or Bengaluru UPSC has. But I hope that this initiative goes beyond just this institute and becomes a habit. It becomes a culture where I feel year on year the toppers come and engage, and they discuss and give back to the ecosystem, and that is when slowly they have to also play their part in increasing those numbers from 26. For me, that number should be at least 50 in the next 3-4 years, and then at least 100 in the next 10. That should be the that was the intent behind it. Now, this model or this initiative is not a very typical model. We've had huge number of mains programs coming every year once the prelims results is out. Not going to be a very typical model. This is, I would say, teacher and topper model, where you need both of them. Teacher has his role here in the sense teaching you the basics of every subject, etc. That they are going to be their role. And I'll also be honest that yes, we as toppers must hear this. Yes, that is true. But there is a distinction between a topper and teacher in the sense that the depth that they have in the subject cannot be replaced by toppers. I'll be very honest on that, because teaching and subject with an intent, with a depth, very much different from just clearing an exam or clearing that subject in that paper. So without taking away the credit of any teacher, yes, their role is significant, and that is something that we value and acknowledge. Toppers, yes. We feel that we have seen the trend, like every year the pattern changes. Every year it is very dynamic in nature. So maybe this year, we've cracked this year, 2025. Maybe our strategy, this will be significant for another max 2 to 3 years. I'll be honest again. I think most of us will be accept that also, because the next, after a few years, again, this approach will be redundant. And that is why I feel there is a need to change culture of UPSC mains here. And that is why toppers have to show that extra effort beyond just self aggrandizement or just being happy with their own ranks. I think that is not become gatekeepers of knowledge, but contribute beyond their own individual success. So as I said, this is a beginning of new chapter. This is a beginning of new culture. It's a wonderful initiative. And why this is important for prelims? Yes, does not really require all of this. For mains, it is required because you are now moving from a diluted competition to a very concentrated competition. See, 12 lakh people, 10 lakh to 12 lakh people were have applied, and then on the day of exam, the 6 lakh people appearing for prelims, and then just that reduced from 12 lakh to 6, and till 6 lakh. That 6 lakh was a very diluted competition. You might say, you can say only few of them were serious, major of them were not serious. Yes, that fact can be agreed upon, but that same fact not applicable to mains. Here, all the 12 to 14,000 that come here are very, this is a concentrated competition. You cannot take away, you cannot neglect the fact that they are not serious or that this is a concentrated competition. So the fact of the matter is, mains is very difficult. It is difficult to ace. Most people think prelims is the tricky part. Yes, it is tricky, but it is not the difficult part. And it is only difficult because till then you have only seen prelims. Once you clear prelims, then you see that, I understand that, okay, the real issue here is actually mains. Because even the marks, let's take at the overall marks, 1750 out of 2025 is coming from mains. Prelims ultimately was just an entry ticket. That is why mains is the ultimate game changer, and it requires a lot of physical, mental, psychological effort for those 3 months, and even writing those 9 papers. So that is why this initiative comes in handy. That is why DRONA Rise with Rankers come in. I hope you make the very best use of this, because I don't see this happening anywhere. Maybe in Delhi, but after that, I don't think so. I think we've had just being very modest, but they've been more than selfless here to come here, and actually they could have just enjoyed. One would be in Himalaya, the other would be in just chilling around with his friends, but that's not the case. That was the idea behind, that was the philosophy here, that let our experiences that we've gained for so many years, 6 years average, at least 4-5 years average, and as I mentioned earlier also, 18 means of experience. Now that should not just end with us. All this experience, all these learnings that we have found by trial and error, and just that it ends with us, with our success, and nothing of that goes back to the ecosystem. That is what we wanted to change. And this is, as I said, this is an initiative made with a lot of heart, lot of love. So I want you to make the best use of it. As sir also mentioned, Prashant sir, make it, this is an open session, bring in more people, encourage more people to come in, join this program, make best of use of this. I feel, as I said, this is not for us, this is for you, and this is a very rare and unique occasion. So with that, I will just summarize that on Monday and Tuesday, you will have the GS1, GS2 Monday, and you will have sessions on GS3 and GS4 and essay on Tuesday. So this is the pattern, and we'll also, if you want, have the modules on optional as well. There is anthrox, there is essay, there is ethics. I'll also be taking essay. So make best use of this. This is a topper come teacher come topper model. So we both have our own strengths and weaknesses, and I think when the weakness of a topper is covered by a teacher and weakness of a teacher is covered by a topper, so it has that dynamism in this initiative. So it is it's a very unique model. Please make use of this. With that, and at last, I have to, you all have to thank Mr. Srinivas sir. He has been instrumental in this. So to see, ಒಬ್ಬರನ್ನ ಹಿಡಿಯೋದು ಭಾಳ ಕಷ್ಟ ಇರೋದು. ನಾವು 7 ಜನ ಅದೇ, like every day he makes a point that to bring and hold all these together, assembling the Avengers. So he has a role to play here. So he's been very monumental, instrumental in this process. We have to thank him. I think this is a beginning of a new era in, I would say, the UPSC mains ecosystem. I hope this, I'm very much sure that this will be a very successful program, and a lot of responsibility on you is there to, to realize our dream of 50 ranks in the next few years, and maybe 100 in the next 2 more years. Thank you so much. It was a wonderful occasion. You've been very patient, very patient. So Monday and Tuesday, please enjoy this opportunity, make best use of this opportunity, and that's it. We are here. You should, it is going to be two-way process. You're more interested, you are more enthusiastic about this. I think we will also have that energy to continue further. Thank you so much. All the best. And once again, thank you so much. Jai Hind, Jai Karnataka.
Thank you so much, sir. Very thoughtfully put forward. It's a platform for all of you to take. It's a platform for all of you to excel. Probably this is the launch pad that all of you should be looking for. All toppers at one stage, all toppers with their strength areas coming up. Starting from Monday, 8th of June, you will have GS1 and GS2 sessions, 2 sessions. And on Tuesday, that is 9th of June, you'll have GS3, GS4 and SA. This is open to all of you. And specific programs will be starting from tomorrow. That is Mains with Magnus and Anthrox has started. All enrollments are open, and entry to the sessions will be through enrollment. Specific Monday and Tuesday sessions will be open to all. After that, the mentorship sessions also will be let known to you. Thank you so much once again to all the toppers. Can we give a very big round of applause? Probably even a standing ovation that makes matter. Takes a lot of effort, and for every idea behind that effort, thank you so much to all of you for making this possible. Thank you so much once again, and to Nivedita and others. Thank you. So at this point of time, Kedar sir ಅವ್ರನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಸ್ಮರಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಿಂದ 100 ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಒಂದೇ ವರ್ಷ ತರಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಕನಸನ್ನ ಅವರು ಇವತ್ತುವರೆಗೂ ಜೀವಂತವಾಗಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So to Kedar sir, to Srinivas sir, and to the entire team and management and friends of India4IAS, thank you so much. To all of you, to the young upcoming achievers, all the very best as we close for today. Thank you so much to all of you. Thank you so much to all of them.
Attend it offline on Monday and Tuesday, because we know our attention span in recorded sessions. That's right.
As much as possible, please attend the sessions offline. Monday and Tuesday, same place. Timings we'll let you know. Thank you so much.